when he goes, "How much for the gun?" And they shot at Bo Diddley's face like, "Uh-oh." If we ever talk to Dan Aykroyd again, I have to ask him about that scene because I have a feeling Dan probably put him in the movie because of his connection with rhythm and blues and old time, or roots rock.
It's funny because in the genesis of Aykroyd's love of that music, it was Belushi that introduced him to it. And he became, I would say, even more of a fan of that music than Belushi was.
And because he's got such an encyclopedic knowledge, or he kind of tends that way. And once he falls into something, he goes all in.
When I texted you about that yesterday, Preston, he lists off the cities that Aykroyd does where it's worth a lot of money. And I didn't know what the last city was, and I had to look it up. It's called Gstaad. It's Gstaad. It's a ski resort city in the middle of Switzerland, and apparently really fancy and rich people go there to go skiing. So in 1984, when this movie came out, that's what he's referring to. But I had never heard of and didn't know anything about Gstaad.
Yeah. It tells time simultaneously in Monte Carlo, Beverly Hills, London, Paris, Rome, and Gstaad.
You got to watch the movie Saturday Night. The actor who's playing Dan Aykroyd nails it.
Excellent.
And that's sort of on this, and he is on the spectrum, Aykroyd, and his ability to just rifle off information is amazing.
Got to see it. All right, let's get into the entertainment stories. We're going to start with this. It seems like it's official. Tom Holland and Zendaya engaged.
Somebody's getting married.
The rumor mill started up after Zendaya was spotted rocking a huge ring at the Golden Globes, and it turns out those rumors were reportedly true. Holland apparently asked Zendaya to tie the knot over the holidays and even made sure to ask Zendaya's father for his permission months ago. And the whole family is apparently very excited that the two are getting married.
I understand that the father requested that when he do it, he be dressed as Spider-Man.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Tom and Zendaya did meet while filming Spider-Man Homecoming back in 2016. And the two reportedly had an intimate engagement, and their families were not present at the big moment. So it was just for those two, which seems apropos.
I like both of them.
I do.
I do, and their chemistry comes through on the screen.
I think that's a good one right there. Aubrey Plaza has spoken out about the death of her husband, Jeff Baena. The White Lotus actress released a short statement asking for privacy after this, quote, unimaginable tragedy, she said. She also expressed her gratitude for, quote, everyone who has offered support. And Baena, who is known for writing and directing Life After Beth, he was found unresponsive at his L.A. home on Friday morning, and his death was ruled suicide. They had started dating in 2011, then quietly tied the knot in May 2021. I don't know if anything will ever surface as to maybe what was going on behind the scenes or if anybody even had any idea.
They had pictures recently during this holiday run where they seem to be having a good time, so who knows?
Yeah, I mean, people are, they can hide that emotion, it's just terrible. It's horrible. So,
I mean, the whole marriage, I had no idea existed.
Yeah.
I did not know she was married.
Yeah. Kate Beckinsale and Matt Rife were reportedly spotted smooching at an after party. At the
She
Golden
likes
Globes.
him young, right?
Maybe not. Yeah, she does.
Well, but Pete Davidson.
So they briefly dated in 2017 after meeting through a mutual friend and split after a year. Never knew that happened. However, there are conflicting reports. One source for Page Six shared that the two were kissing and being affectionate with one another, but another source told the outlet that they are friendly exes and were having some funny conversations.
Where, like, you make out?
But it says they weren't making out. A rep for Beckinsale, meanwhile, addressed the rumored kissing in a statement to people saying they share. This is what they shared. They said there was no locking of lips.
Would you share your vagina with me?
I know, they share. I'd kiss Kate Beckinsale, too, I think.
She said it is incorrect. They said it was
There's
incorrect.
your new OnlyFans page.
I love her.
That they were kissing. They are friendly exes who were having a fun time speaking, according to a rep.
In person,
So
and we
fun.
recount this story every time, Kathy, when we met her and she was young. This was just at the point of Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
And she walked up for an interview. Could not have been nicer, but I mean, it was literally jaw-dropping. We were like, what? That's a human?
Yeah.
Why don't we look like that?
At that point, she was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in person.
Yeah.
So, and then I met Kathy years ago.
Yeah, of course.
Like, oh, wow.
Preston. I know.
She's making my favorite face.
Got a mouth like a whale shark.
Hot.
Oh, dear Lord. All right, here's a follow-up story. Just days after the Real Housewives of New Jersey star Jennifer Aydin jumped on TikTok and railed against both employees and customers after her visit to a Jersey Mike's. One of the employees returned fire in a since-deleted video. A woman named Amanda did not hold back, claiming to have been on duty at the time of the incident. The employee hit the ground running. She said, I really hope this stupid bitch has TikTok.
Right.
I really hope I come up on your For You page, bitch. I hope you recognize me. She went on to explain how Aydin kept changing up her order and tried to tack on additional items while the employees tried to keep up with the changes, and the patrons behind her grew irritated. And she said, she was like, oh, and can I also get this? And she goes, like, girl, that is not how this works. Now, Andy Cohen has even chimed in.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because yeah, all right.
Yeah, he posted, she had posted a rant on her Instagram saying the woman, Jennifer Aydin, that she had waited for what felt like forever for her order. And so he had commented on a podcast saying he called her feud a self-inflicted wound. He went on to say that she had a meltdown and advised her, before you hit send on the post, take a beat and say, how is this going to land?
He's got to deal, because he produces those shows. So he has to deal with all of those people.
Yep. All right, here's another follow-up story. Back in November, we had mentioned that China Phillips and her husband, Billy Baldwin, were living in separate houses.
Yes.
Because they, quote, had an allergy to each other. And at the time, Phillips claimed that it worked for them. Well, fast forward several weeks, and the couple are back to living under the same roof. On her YouTube channel, California Preachin', Phillips explained this reversal.
I get it.
Yeah, she said, Billy called me earlier, and he was like, I just read another article about how you want to be married living apart. And I just want to clarify, at that time, I felt like I needed a little bit of space and really felt like that would be the most logical answer. I am now saying that is probably a very foolish, very unwise, very destructive, stupid decision, because that's not going to solve our problem with the allergy. So they're having issues, I think, is what this is.
That seems to be the
quote
case.
unquote allergy.
By the way,
And then they've realized, no, this is a stupid way to go.
are any of us laboring under the misconception that they're living in a small ranch house where they couldn't find rooms to be apart in the same house?
Right, yeah. No, I mean, they easily could find some room.
I'll
but
be in the East Wing. You
they
can go to
wanted
the
be
West Wing.
Completely separate.
Would we consider him to be the second most talented and successful Baldwin brother behind Alec? Like over the years? I mean, Daniel's
Steven, by
number 4. Yeah, Steven's probably 3, right?
I would put him at Steven above.
Steven number 2?
I would too, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's done some goofy stuff, but I think he's had more success than Billy Baldwin.
I guess
Billy
maybe
Baldwin's had Backdraft.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like mid-90s, like the Sliver movie.
Sliver.
With Sharon Stone.
And what was the one with Cindy Crawford?
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Fair Game.
Horrible movie.
Wow.
However, there was one part of that VHS tape, Steve, where we stopped over and over and over again because Cindy Crawford took her top off. The older Billy gets, the more he looks like Alec.
Yes, very much so.
I just watched an interview with him, and he is in full Alec Baldwin register now. Very dead on this kind of thing.
Billy Baldwin is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, speaking of getting older, when Stranger Things started production in 2015, Millie Bobby Brown was 11 years old.
Jesus.
She's an adult now, married, and fans are just going to have to get used to that fact. The 20-year-old clapped back at fans who complained a selfie she posted on her socials made her look older, something that she didn't deny in her response. She said, women grow. Not sorry about it. This was in a follow-up on her Instagram stories. And one fan came to Brown's defense saying, seriously, just because she started her career as a child doesn't mean that she's always staying the same. Now she's a beautiful woman, and you shouldn't hate on her for something that she has no control over.
She looks great.
Stunning.
It also gives me appreciation for how effectively they de-aged her in the last season of Stranger Things, because they did a damn good job.
Yep. Somebody had pointed out on social media how much she and Elizabeth Perkins look alike.
There's a similarity.
A little bit there.
I think she's better looking than Elizabeth Perkins, but I like Elizabeth Perkins.
When you see it side by side, you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah,
They could be the same person.
Similar features, Case.
Millie
You're right
Bobby
about
Perkins.
that. Yeah.
And if this were the case, then this would fit perfectly into my sequel for Big, where Tom Hanks wants to become younger, right?
Okay.
And he becomes Colin Hanks, and now Elizabeth Perkins can become younger, and she can become Millie Bobby Brown.
Okay, and so they both go to the Zoltar machine together and do that, and then
But they simply become younger adults.
Yeah,
so
well-
there's not, it's like when they.
I'll let the writers figure all that stuff out.
Because when you're 31 and you're trying to figure out what the small corn is.
Well, my initial thought was that Colin Hanks would play Josh Baskins grown up, and he misses Elizabeth Perkins, and he goes back to the Zoltar machine and becomes Tom Hanks again, so that he and Elizabeth.
But I think the more it would be more effective if they went as children.
Yeah,
if they
there's more of a
revert back to
difference.
children. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
yeah.
They look similar, and it could make sense. Yeah, we're looking at these pictures of Elizabeth Perkins and Millie Bobby Brown, although Millie's making a duck face in this photo.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely similarities. All right, Demi Moore won big this weekend with her first Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, but her celebration was quickly overshadowed by rumors that she snubbed Kylie Jenner
I can't
OMG.
believe this friggin' thing.
while making her celebration rounds.
They didn't snub her.
Fans pointed out Moore greeted actress Elle Fanning and seemed to skip over the youngest Jenner to celebrate with her boyfriend Timothy Chalamet instead. Before the drama could spiral out of control, Moore's daughter Tallulah Willis posted on her Instagram story saying that she was nipping this straight in the bud. Nip it,
In
nip
the
it,
bud.
nip it.
Wait, what is that?
It's
Andy
from
Griffith?
Andy Griffith.
Okay.
The daughter, of course, of her and Bruce Willis, explained Fanning spent the new year with her family, and connecting with her after her win was a very organic thing to do, she said, and added that her mother was still in total shock and delight while trying to move through the room of celebrities and wants everyone to literally just all take a break and let a gal enjoy her accomplishments. So, yeah, she's...
It wasn't like Kylie Jenner was waving around. I'm over here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, less than 5 months after Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce from Ben Affleck after 2 years of marriage, it is almost over for the couple. Almost over.
okay.
So, not completely over, but the two have...
It's almost over. It's over. Almost. It's almost over.
the two have settled their divorce.
I'm going to have to console her when I move in.
I think so. With both reportedly walking away with whatever they individually
Who's your roommate?
acquired during their marriage. The split becomes official February 20th, at which J-Lo will abandon her marital name, Affleck.
So did you hear the most recent? As of I think it was yesterday, they were seen socializing.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who knows?
You would hope they
Maybe they'll get married again.
could do that. We'll hold out hope for that. This is an interesting story. Pamela Anderson was known for years as one of the great beauties and most recognizable people in Hollywood. So to be mistaken for someone else at the height of her fame seems unlikely, yet it happened and resulted in a man getting handcuffed mid-flight for trying to attack her. This is a story I've never heard before.
No.
She relayed the story saying, I was on a flight. This guy came up to me and said, do you know what this country's done for you? And Anderson said, I was like, oh my God, what have I done?
I'm waiting for peanuts.
She said, I looked back and he was angry. And she said, and this flight attendant had to handcuff him to the chair because he was trying to attack me. And it turns out this happened nearly 20 years ago. And it was when the Dixie Chicks were embroiled in a controversy over
my
political
God.
statements that ended their country music career. And the man thought that she was a member
God.
of the Dixie Chicks. And
Bad
was-
call.
Was going off on her.
Anybody else seen the trailer for her movie that's coming out? It's called The Last Showgirl.
It looks really good.
No.
Yeah.
That's what she was nominated for.
Oh, was she? Okay,
Yeah.
so all I know about it is there was one of the trailers that ran before A Complete Unknown when I saw the Dylan movie over the weekend. It looks fantastic, and I think that she's just kind of embracing aging and playing that kind of role, and she looks really good in it.
She's been doing the no makeup thing
Yeah.
quite a bit. So, yeah, she is kind of taking on,
Yeah.
this is who I am.
If you
She'd
get a
actually
chance.
entertain the notion of putting on makeup for the Golden Globes, but don't she get a lot of blowback because now it's been her thing to.
Yeah.
She looks great regardless.
Yeah. If you get a chance, watch the trailer, and Dave Bautista's in it as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is interesting. Will Smith shared a cryptic post to social media that had fans thinking that he might be joining a new Matrix movie. His post calls out the fact that back in the day, he was actually offered the role of Neo in The Matrix, but he turned it down for Wild Wild West. People have wondered what those movies would have been like with Will Smith in the role instead of Keanu Reeves. You know what? Here's the deal. Keanu, it's iconic. As Neo, he's fantastic. Yeah. I bet you Will Smith would have done a pretty damn good job, too.
He very well could have.
Yeah.
It's hard to think about it now because it's so firmly entrenched in our minds. But you never know. And we wouldn't have had that great Wild Wild West movie.
Well, Smith teases. He said, wake up, Will. The Matrix has you in his video. But before anyone gets too excited, a source reportedly close to the actor told Deadline that his teaser is actually related to a music project.
By the way, that last Matrix movie, it was terrible. It was actually, it seemed like a movie that hated being made. So whichever Wachowski directed it and wrote it, it was almost like, I'm sick of doing these movies. And it felt that way throughout the entire movie, which is bad.
I never even saw it. That said, a new Matrix movie is currently being worked on, though no casting has been announced as of yet. Director John M. Chu is showing no signs of slowing down after the massive success of his movie musical Wicked. Chu stayed tight-lipped about updates on the highly anticipated Britney Spears biopic after he was tapped to direct it back in August, saying that he really can't talk about that yet. But Chu promised diehard fans that he will, quote, do her justice and tell her story right, and that she is going to be very involved in it as well.
So there was a Broadway musical, or maybe it was more of like a review, Britney Spears. But so I don't know which one of those it was. I assume this is a completely original story.
This is a biopic.
Yeah.
So this is going to tell her story.
Her story,
I guess. I think that one
not
was
as
more,
a musical, though, right?
No. I think that was the more playful.
Right.
One of the, I think, viable rumors that I heard about her as she, when she was in her heyday, is that she performed oral on Fred Durst in a helicopter one time.
Okay.
You guys ever hear that one?
If you had the chance.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So that's a...
I think it's a viable rumor. I don't remember where I heard it, but I heard it, and I want to believe it for the rest of my life.
That Britney performed oral on Fred Durst in a helicopter.
Yeah.
It all fits together.
The director notes that... Now, do you think he performed oral on her, too?
No, he's selfish.
He's just too cool.
He's selfish.
He did it all for the...
For the nookie.
For the nookie.
So take that cookie.
Yeah, there's your cookie, and it's in a bag.
The director
Put it in your yeah.
notes that the biopic
snickerdoodle.
is very much in its development stages, but teases that he has ideas and things and approach, but it's very early at this point.
Things and approach.
Fans of R.L. Stein's brand of preteen and teen horror will be happy to know that there are 3 more Fear Street films in development. The 3 films will follow Netflix's 2021 trilogy, as well as the upcoming 4th film, which is The Prom Queen, and that's scheduled to premiere later this year. The Fear Street franchise centers on a group of young teens living in the fictional town of Shadyside who have scary encounters with all the manner of slasher-type characters. And the Fear Street franchise is a little more grown-up than the Goosebumps story.
Yeah, so I didn't realize that came from his camp because it is it's pretty good, and it is a little bit more adult.
As Stein puts it, the thing about Goosebumps, he said, is that no one ever dies. That's the difference between Goosebumps and Fear Street, where we kill off teenagers right and left. While waiting for Fear Street, Stein's fans can check out Disney Plus's Goosebumps, The Vanishing, Gerspumps. Gerspumps, The Vanishing, which premieres on January 10th.
Yeah, that's the one with David Schwimmer, and I've only seen the trailer for it, but it looks scary.
Yeah, they're going a little more hardcore.
Well, yeah, the first one was a lot of fun. The one with Jack Black, and it was not scary. And this one, I don't know.
It's got a serial killer that screams pivot.
He lives in the basement, and all these vines take over his life and stuff. I don't know if I want to watch that.
Do you remember that Creep Show installment with Stephen King where that sort of kudzu it grew all over him?
Oh, yeah. He was playing the role.
Right, he's playing the role, yeah.
Yeah, it was a meteorite that he got on his fingers. He got some kind of goo that grew all over him. Yeah, it was good.
Goo!
Oh, no.
Wait, where is it?
I
forget
know.
which page. That doesn't matter.
Okay. Goo! So, Saturday night. Goo! There it is. He found it. Saturday Night Live veteran Kevin Nealon has a new gig. His talk show, Hiking with Kevin, has been licensed to the streaming platform Fox Nation. And the series sees Nealon joined by celebrity guests including Conan O'Brien, Rob Lowe, Nikki Glaser, David Spade, Martin Short, and others as they hike through the canyons of Los Angeles, Malibu, Utah, and elsewhere. Of the show, he says, when I hike with these people, they're really forthcoming. You're outside. You don't have an audience in front of you. You don't have these bright lights. And, he says it's very revealing.
So I've seen a number of these, and a lot of times, Preston, the person being interviewed, because you start to get into a normal conversation pattern. There's no one around.
Yeah.
So, I forgot we were recording this.
Yep.
It's very cool.
Yeah, so people can really open up and be themselves in in an environment like that. So 10 episodes of Hiking with Kevin will be available on the Fox Nation streaming platform, and that starts on Monday.
Hey, Casey, we're getting a bunch of texts saying it was Christina Aguilera in that rumor with Fred Durst, not Britney Spears.
No, I wouldn't have made that mistake.
No,
Christina Aguilera is more of a whore. But the rumor was that she did it while she was with Justin Timberlake. So Christina Aguilera and Justin Timberlake were never together.
Well, they were on the Musketeer Club.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, do a random search and see if Britney Spears, Fred Durst oral rumor.
Yeah. And then put in hand job while you're checking that.
Is that? Can you plug that in there too?
Yeah.
Oral plus
Billy
hand job.
Zane, hand job, Titanic.
Let's see. In 2003, Fred Durst hinted at a romantic relationship with Britney Spears in a post on the band's website. He described Spears as a person that I would, quote, have thought could make me feel, wouldn't have thought could make me feel this way. So I don't know. Nothing about a helicopter in there.
Well, it's implied by
Well,
no.
you're
I didn't
in
know.
that helicopter.
That's true.
She's lemon-headed.
Yes.
That's what it is. So I don't know. Lemon-head.
You're in that helicopter, and you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist, and I'm after you, buddy.
Buddy.
You're in that helicopter.
Buddy.
All right. We're ready for the clips. For 6 years, the Rookie has followed new members of the LAPD at work, and this season has a new twist. And here, Melissa O'Neill talks about what the season's this season's dynamics. That's what it says.
Of course it does.
What this season's dynamics. Here we go.
We're all very excited, and I think what I'm most excited about is we are launching 2 new rookies, and we're going home with a lot of our characters that everybody loves that we've never gone home with before.
I don't think I want to see it.
The Rookie season 7 premieres tonight, ABC.
At what point do you stop being called a rookie?
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not after
7 years.
7 years. Next clip, here we go. The crime drama, The Irrational, follows a world-renowned behavioral science professor who uses his unique expertise to solve high-stakes cases. And here, Molly Coons talks about how her own character's plot will unfold.
I think Phoebe is going to have to really confront what it means to make the right choice for yourself and what it means to make the right choice for the people around you. And we also see a little bit more of her backstory. We see a little bit more of what makes Phoebe who she is.
I don't think I want to see it.
Season 2 of The Irrational resumes tonight. You'll find that on NBC.
By the way, that particular Michael Jackson clip that was during the video of that's from the Doo Doo Feces clip as well, is it not?
I believe that is. Well, it's from the same documentary. this year.
I wonder what he was exactly referring to.
I don't think, because the Doo-Doo Feces is when he was being interviewed
by the police. Yeah.
And I think that is from a journalist interview of him saying, I don't think I want to
Sounds
see
from
it.
a stage play called Doo Doo Feces.
I don't know, maybe. I'd go see that. How could you not? All right, and that's the entertainment report this morning. We are going to take a break. Sun's coming up. It's looking nice. It's going to be breezy and cold today. A heads up, but we do have ample sunshine, so that is good. And we are going to have one of our favorite guests on, Mr. Richard Kind, wonderful actor, and he'll be in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll take a break, come back in a second. Let's get your morning started, and then we'll jump in with you. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
Whatever. On the producer side, he's saying, can we do this for cheaper? I have to bring this up, too. Doing the research on this movie, Wolf Warrior 2, which is, explain where this is. Now, we have not heard much about this movie.
No, because it's not in America.
But globally.
How about this? So I do a movie in China last year, right? And it's a big deal because you want a Chinese kind of presence. But there had been a Wolf Warrior 1. It was very successful, made like $100 million. And they paid me a lot of money to go to China. Joe and Anthony Russo produced it. They're the directors of Captain America.
Yeah.
They said, go do this. It's our whole stunt crew is going to really... And so I went and did it and made a ton of money. The movie's going to make $1 billion.
Oh, my God.
It's like the highest...
It is the second highest domestic grossing film ever behind Star Wars. Yeah.
What?
And I play a character named Big Daddy. I'm the bad American.
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay,
you have to
okay.
see the jacket I'm wearing.
All right, we're looking
They
at the
show it.
We're looking at the trailer.
This was all
of it
shot
right
in
now.
China, by the way. I am, and I'm going to say this on the radio, the biggest American star.
China.
Yeah, this movie is a phenomenon.
I was reading the numbers on it, like
crazy.
surpassing.
Yeah.
You got to realize globally where this movie falls into the list.
We live in this tiny little bubble in the United States,
Right.
And there's there are more people in China, meaning there's more money to be made, I guess, over there.
yeah.
Well, that's what happens, and they talk about you opening up in other markets and so on and so forth. The movie opens up in India and does well. The Bollywood, is a
Yeah,
whole
I mean,
other-
this is literally the second. This is only behind Star Wars. So, like, Joe Russo called me and goes, "You are a unicorn now in China. We're gonna go make Lethal Weapon. It's with you and a Chinese movie star. We're gonna go do Lethal Weapon next year."
So when you play a bad guy and you're known for you're sort of a bad guy, and
I played it campy, like I was
over the top.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I was
that's
in
gotta
China.
be
I didn't
great.
think anybody was gonna see it. I was like Al Pacino in Scent of a Woman. Hoo-ah!
That's great.
Look, that's Big Daddy.
Oh man,
Yeah, I represent everything bad about the world.
Wow.
Hey, where did you guys shoot for Captain America: Civil War? Was that in Africa?
Part of it was in. I think part of it was in Africa. I didn't. I was always in Atlanta.
And by the way, Crossbones is not dead.
Is he dead?
Oh no, he seems dead.
Come on, man.
He seems dead.
dude,
Seems dead.
I was just down at Marvel, with every said nobody mentioned that he wasn't dead. He's dead.
They don't. That's one of the.
I think he's definitely dead.
He's dead. Man.
That
he's
uniform's too freaking
No,
cool.
no, he's dead. I know. So, I'm too old. Listen, I think at some point they're gonna have to change the Avengers. We're getting a little long in the tooth.
Can I ask a question?
When they first get their AARP card,
I had a question about your scene in Civil War.
Yeah.
The spit on the side of your mouth. Was that makeup spit or was that your?
No, it's real spit. I have it right now. I get excited. I'm really sweating right now.
That's got to be wild, though. Just listen. You are part of one of the greatest movie fights ever filmed.
Yeah.
That elevator fight, which we know you had a lot of sway over.
Yeah.
I can watch that over and over. That's got to be a sense of pride
fun.
for you.
It's fun. It's all fun.
And knowing also now that you could just demolish Chris Evans.
He's so skinny now. I just saw him. He's so beautiful. But I was with all of they were all there. The whole every Marvel character was assembled. It was like 45 people. Like I'm sitting with Cheadle and William Hurt. You don't realize how many people have been in those movies.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
I think I would cry if I was
I
in
cried.
the presence of all of them.
Yeah, I mean, it was fascinating.
All right, let's hear it for Frank Grillo. Regis Philbin did not like to chat with Kelly Ripa when the cameras weren't rolling.
What?
No. It's not the way it sounds, and we all will understand this. Regis had a mandate. She said, absolutely no talking off camera.
So save it for the TV, right?
Yeah.
I'm such a professional.
She tells the New York Times about her dynamic with Philbin. She said he had almost a superstition about it. You save it for the show.
Save it for the show.
She said,
Kelly, look at me right in the eyes. Save it for the show.
She'd said, I'd be like, good morning. And
Shut up!
He'd say, save it for...
Shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut. Shut.
Save it for...
Shut the mouth now.
You weren't very nice about it.
Look, shut the mouth closed. Shut. Now.
So she would... he would say, save it for the air.
Save it for the air. Shut.
I swear to God.
I will kill you where you stand. I will cut your whole goddamn head off. I just purchased a scimitar. For this very reason. To just slice your head off. So shh.
After he left live,
Nothing?
Michael Strahan came aboard and his unexpected eggs from Good Morning
She
America.
can't understand what he says, so.
So it didn't matter.
So it was her saying don't talk, yeah. Shut up.
Just put your slicker on and talk to that slob.
Ari Lewandijk Jr. is about to meet 29 potential future wives.
Oh, boy. Is he the new Bachelor?
The Bachelor season 22 is about to kick off, and in the running this time are 4 Laurens, 2 Brittnys, and 3 real estate agents.
I'm Brittany, and I'm just looking for that someone special.
The 36-year-old race car driver, there you go, was first introduced to viewers on season 8.
Hey,
of
would
The
this show
Bachelor.
work with ugly people? I mean, straight
not
up.
at all for 1 second.
Can they just try it? Can like a smaller,
No one wants
lesser
to see-
network just do it with ugly people?
No, they did Rock of Love.
No, I mean like actual ugly people.
You know what? They have shows that are average people, like that Married at First Sight thing.
Yeah.
And those people aren't. So they're just kind of average looking. So and people watch that, but it does have the added level of they've never met before and they're going to try to stay together.
Regular people. It's just you have these stunning people. Many of them very loose sexually.
Right.
You have these dream dates that no one on earth ever goes on, but people on The Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Yeah.
And that's
Could
why
you
people
imagine,
watch.
like The Bachelor shows up, and then you got 20 or 30 bachelorettes, and then
Mama June Shannon gets out of the limo.
Some of the bachelorettes are like, you know what, I'm out. You know,
yeah.
so immediately the 30 goes down to 20.
Well, that would be cool if at the point, but they've already it's the formula works so well.
I know.
It's been on, even though it's 90,000 different iterations of
This
it.
is season 22.
Yeah,
And I don't know how many
it's
different
showing no
versions.
signs of slowing down. Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise.
Imagine, Casey, if The Bachelor shows up and he looks like, that doctored picture of Tom Cruise that makes him a little fat and he's wearing a baseball hat.
Or Booger.
Yes, something like that.
It's not going to work. So anyhow,
I have to go. The limo's still running.
yeah.
People with great personalities, all
No one
across
cares.
the board. Yeah.
Look at this picture here.
Yes.
That guy.
That's it. I love it.
I'd tune in. I totally would have watched that show. At least the first episode.
It's a fantasy for everyone. I got just what love is really like.
But if you're one of the girls and you show up and Fat Tom Cruise is waiting for you instead of Ari Lewandowski Jr., you got ripped off on that season.
You're gone.
Yeah.
You're out of there. So anyhow, he was first introduced on season 8 of The Bachelorette when he vied for the affection of Emily Maynard. So he goes. I love
you.
He goes.
I want to be with you.
He goes.
Forever.
I love you.
I love you.
See,
I look into the future and I see you and I together, like two people together.
Poetry.
I want to walk down the aisle with you, the same aisle, and get married. I want to write our own vows and use ventriloquist dummies to convey them.
please welcome Mr. M. Night Shyamalan.
Hey guys, I like the music.
You like that?
That's a cello actually played through, through an electric.
Oh, that's really cool.
To
Yeah.
make it sound like a growl. That's,
Oh, really?
That's
Music from Split. Yeah.
Yeah, this was. Hang on, wait.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see
now
that
you
on
can
that-
hear it.
Yeah, and the composer actually plays the cello. He played it himself, like in a bathroom, like off the tiles, and you can. Anyway.
Who's the composer? No. I mean,
Wes Stortson. I got him from the HBO show The Jinx. Making.
Yes.
So just an amazing talent.
I want to talk about, or ask you about Split, and so I don't want no spoiler alerts, but I recently went to a screening of Unbreakable. Do you look at Unbreakable differently than you did 10 years ago?
Split and Unbreakable are very, very connected, and they've always been. Even when I wrote the original movie, both these movies were in my head and actually on paper.
Okay.
So it was just one of the things when I started doing smaller movies, which give me a lot of creative control, and for me, whether it's even just in my own head, a sense of being able to be daring and different and original and not worry because the budgets are low and I can do something that's unexpected. I felt like, wow, I could do this other part of this story in a very unusual way. In fact, in a way that hasn't been done before, which is not even tell you how it's connected to something else unless you come see the movie and then forbid it to be mentioned in the marketing. It was really strange, I'll tell you, because I write only originals, but this is the first time I've ever written something where I already knew the characters, so it was very bizarre. Like, as soon as I started writing, I knew all the characters' voices and how they were going to react. So it was a very different process. And,
Okay.
Yeah, really interesting.
Well, speaking of that, I apologize, but how did you come up with all the different voices and characters for the one character in Split?
Yeah, James plays, if you guys haven't seen it, Split is about...
I just glanced over at a text, and it says, "I'm not adopted." What the F does he say? And it took me a second, and they're talking about Another One Bites the Dust. There's a part where Freddie Mercury goes, "Not adopted."
Yeah. So what does he say?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it definitely sounds like
I always heard I'm not a doctor.
Not a doctor.
But I know that's not it.
I would think the word dust is in there somewhere. Not a dusted. I
haven't dusted.
I haven't dusted. Don't come in here.
I haven't dusted.
I haven't dusted.
Wait, what part of the song is
it? The song is Another One Bites the Dust. I haven't dusted.
Oh, here you go. I got it, Nick. So it's after he goes, hey. And he goes, take it. Bite the dust. Bite the dust, hey. That's what this, according to, what is this?
Bite the dust, hey?
Well, I think he's...
Bite the dust, comma,
dust.
hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Bite the dust, hey.
This is sort of an improv riff, though, on the way out of the song.
Yeah.
So is it included in the actual lyric?
I don't know. Sometimes they do write out those, those, as they call them, licks.
I haven't
that
dusted.
singers are doing, but
When you're listening to music on iTunes, you have the option to...
Have the lyrics
have the
displayed?
lyrics.
Yeah.
Are those official or are those how
They're usually
It's
coming to a
interpreting?
website.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay. As opposed to like officially written down by the band.
Right.
On what would be the liner notes back in the day that you would have. So
Sometimes I see them
don't
get it.
know.
But for the most times I've used it though, and I was aware of the lyrics. It was pretty accurate.
I'm not sure if I'm remembering this correctly, but was it Sgt. Pepper's where that was the first time the lyrics were ever printed in the liner notes?
I don't know if that was the first time ever or not.
I think I heard that from our
That's one
buddy
of my favorite. I
Andre
used to say-
Gardner.
Yeah, it could very well be, Nick, because I remember reading those, just looking at the lyrics and reading it, and this is the best time ever.
Very, very interesting.
And then I got annoyed for a long time because I love Pearl Jam, but like you can't understand half of what Eddie's saying most of the time anyway, and they would never print out the lyrics in the song. So I would get the CDs and look at the liner notes and try to understand what the hell he's talking about.
I haven't dusted.
Yeah, you couldn't look it up on the interwebs.
REM was a band that was known for that as well. Early on, people were like, what
going
is
on?
he saying in some of the songs? And they would not print their lyrics.
Some of my favorite REM songs, I could not discern one word.
Yeah.
Chuck hates them, right?
What's that?
Chuck hates
Chuck hates
REM.
REM.
Chuck, he's not a fan of REM. Yeah, believe it or not. All right. Well, I would like to go in a different direction right now. And there have been a lot of studies that have come out medically, scientifically, and it's time to head to the Just Saying Institute. Yep.
Just Saying Institute, home of the Preston Elliott Happy Meal Collectibles Museum and Auction House.
Yesterday, we had a conversation about a collection of Happy Meal toys that I have, and I actually brought them in this morning.
I'm very excited.
Because...
Should we go to it as our first stop at
No,
the...
we're not going to go there now. But, Nick, I am going to go to, what's the place? Archive Auction.
Yeah, the one in Lansdale.
Yeah, I'm going to go by there today, and they're going to take a look at my stuff.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool. So thanks to Tank, who reached out to me about
any
that.
idea, because I know we were texting about it yesterday, but like any idea on what the value might be?
Kathy found a link for sale, one of the items that I have here, and it's, like $350 is what it was listed at, which is really, really cool. But anyway,
We digress.
I'll show you that a little bit later on.
right.
I got stuff to talk about from the medical field. We'll start with this. In a significant leap forward in medical technology, researchers have developed autonomous surgical robots. However, there are many issues that need to be addressed before these machines are actually used on humans.
Sorry about your left ball.
Yeah, dude, autonomous surgical robots.
I don't know.
Researchers from Johns Hopkins University and Stanford University have successfully trained robots to perform surgical tasks with the precision of human doctors they have these machines watch videos and they learn from that.
It's basically a Roomba for your internal organs.
Yeah,
What's a Da Vinci machine? I thought that was not autonomous, but
No, the Da Vinci machine is it's what I had my prostate was moved. It is a hyper precise it almost looks like something out of a science fiction movie, but
it's not autonomous.
So
though,
look
right?
at it, Casey. No, it's not. It's a surgeon guided.
Okay.
And they're actually using the controllers to go in and perform very, very meticulous surgery, minimally invasive.
But they're learning to do this on their own. This advancement presented at the recent conference on robot learning in Munich.
Okay, spread your ass cheeks. It's going to go in. Right? How's it getting in?
Marks a significant step towards more autonomous surgical robots and could be a partial solution to the looming shortage of surgeons in the United States. Robotic assistance in surgery is not new. Since 1985, when the Puma 560 first assisted in a brain biopsy, robots have been helping doctors perform various procedures, including gallbladder removals, hysterectomies, and prostate surgery. Steve, like yours.
Yes.
These robots, guided by doctors using joystick-like controllers, have been instrumental in minimizing human hand tremors during delicate procedures. However, the recent breakthrough takes this technology to a new level, and the research team has developed robots capable of performing complex surgical tasks autonomously, including manipulating needles, tying knots, and suturing wounds.
So we'd be dealing with a certain level of surgery because there are things like if you're going in and you're doing precise surgery, I having human eyes on it in case something comes up. At least for now.
Well, there would be human eyes on this while this is going on. But what sets these robots apart is their ability to learn from videos and correct their mistakes without human intervention.
That is frightening.
The team's approach to training these robots is similar to the use in developing language models like ChatGPT. However, instead of working with words, the system employs a language that describes the position and direction of the robot's gripper. According to Dr. Axel Krieger, he said, we built our training model using videotapes of robots performing surgical tasks on practice suture pads. Each image in the video sequence is converted into numerical data, which the model then translates into robot actions. Wow.
So, wow. There's a whole bunch of opportunity here and also a whole bunch of risk, I think. But it's interesting.
Well, what makes this interesting is the method significantly reduces the need for programming each individual movement required for a medical procedure. The trained robots demonstrated their skills in different environments, successfully performing tasks on pork and chicken samples.
We're going to have to remove your pork and chicken samples.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. What were they doing in there in the first place?
They said we've developed this
system.
system.
You have a London broil in your butthole.
Where you can talk to the robot like you would a surgical resident. So instead of having to go through programming and code and things like that.
R2-D2, cut off my anal ward.
They're able to communicate more directly like a human being, and the machine will learn. Isn't that wild?
It is. It's amazing. They're talking about, obviously, nanobots as well for going into very, very tight quarters in the human body and performing similar things. So I don't know. I want to see it go out for a few spins before. I assume they're going to start on easy.
Pork and chicken.
Yeah, pork and chicken.
While the progress is impressive, experts say numerous challenges remain before fully autonomous surgical robots become reality. So it's a ways off from that.
Yeah, I think one of the, for the layperson, one of the most underrated aspects of a good surgeon is steady hands. Right? Like you can have all the knowledge in the world and you can read every single textbook and remember everything. But if you don't have a steady hand, then you're not going to be a good, effective surgeon.
That's what ruined Dr. Strange.
You're right.
He got in that accident and he couldn't steady his hands, and then he had to go into the Marvel universe.
In fact, it says in the game, Operation, it takes a steady hand.
Absolutely.
If you remember in the commercials for that.
And robots would have steady-ass hands.
Well, and that's what it says in the beginning of this. It says that hand tremors are a part of the reason why, these very, very precise manipulations need to be made by robotic.
What if this stress eventually causes the robots to start drinking as well?
Yeah, that's a possibility. Hey, I watched Interstellar yesterday, and the robots in that, I think, are my favorite robots.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
The big one.
Tars and Case, I think, are the two robots.
Yeah, they look like a big...
like a monolith.
Obelisk or something. Yeah, monolith, So,
you ever heard of the video game called Machinarium?
No.
I hadn't either, and I started playing it over the break. And the only reason I bring it up is that it's based on these robots, and they live in this robot city, and there's this whole adventure. And there's some good robots and some bad robots. And the word robot itself is based on this Czech author, this guy named Josef Kapek. It's a word that's only 100 years old, which I'd never dawned on me. But I looked up this game, and it's based on this guy's writing, and it's a writing from the Czech Republic called Rossum's Universal Robots. And Steve, when I was playing this game, I was thinking about you. I meant to text you about it over the break. It's this fascinating world, and it's puzzle solving, but the characters are robots. And I'm not a video game guy, and this one has completely sucked me in.
I've heard about it. It is it's a side scroller.
Yeah.
Right. And
Well, actually, I don't know what that means.
You're just moving. You're moving laterally. You're moving in one direction. It doesn't have a 3-dimensional feel to it. But this is a little bit more elaborate than just a basic side scroller. We're looking at the video.
The artistic work on it is incredible. It's really pretty, and it's just
he's moving three. Interesting.
Yeah, it's one page after another where you are just trying to solve puzzles and figure out what's going on with this robot. And
it looks great.
It's really, really fun.
It looks cool.
So we got stuck on a level last night where we couldn't solve the puzzle.
What's it called again?
Machinarium.
Machinarium. And what format do you play it on?
Preston, we have a Nintendo Switch, but it's one of those things where you can download Super Mario Brothers from the 80s or whatever.
Right.
So we just downloaded this one, and it's been a lot of fun and also frustrating at times. But I'm having fun with it.
I'm jotting that down. I want to play that. All right, I have some other things. We'll move on to burping.
Burping!
Often considered a faux pas, as it can be embarrassing and off-putting, especially in social situations. But for some, the inability to belch can be an issue that can cause discomfort. There is even a medical name for the condition. I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly.
All right.
It is retrograde cricopharyngeal dysfunction.
Crico.
And it's also known as no burp syndrome.
So I would imagine that if you sometimes, because it is sort of it's a release, a complete release when you're burping and you're gassy or you got to get one out. You feel good. It's like a good fart.
I want to see if anybody has this condition. If you do, give us a call 215-263-WMMR. It's called a pharyngeal dysfunction.
And they don't burp?
They can't.
They do not burp. They can't. I'll explain why in a moment.
I don't know what the main cause for burping is. I don't know if it is, swallowing air as you're, eating or drinking or just whatever. But I do know that I burp most when I exercise. Like when I ride my bike, I burp all the time.
That's a weird reaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think it's because the gas within your system is being jostled about and literally broken up into smaller gas bubbles and therefore comes out of your esophagus more quickly?
I've never really been able to hypothesize.
I mean, it's like when you do yoga or whatever, sometimes you end up farting a lot because you're twisting your body around and whatever's been in your system and stuck in your system, it literally finds a way out of your body because of the contortions that you make. We have one or two sound effects to prove my point.
We do.
Yeah.
So the cricopharyngeus is the main muscle of the upper esophageal sphincter, the top gate of the food pipe, essentially. And with no burp syndrome, this muscle does not relax, which interferes with the burping process, according to Neil Cheda, who is the associate professor and vice chair of the department of this place in Gainesville, Florida.
I'm sorry if you already mentioned it.
Otolaryngology.
The purpose of the belch in the human body is to normalize pressure in the body.
Yeah, there's too much pressure. Yeah, there are things that are expanded. There are gases that are being released.
Right.
And
a fart would be the same as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I found a couple of things. Breathing through your mouth occurs more during exercise, so swallowing the air that causes you to burp is not uncommon. So that might be one thing, Case. And then it also says exercise increases abdominal pressure. This is heavy lifting, crunches, high impact workouts can trigger reflux.
Kathy, look this one up because I saw over the break that if you hold in a fart, that eventually the fart will sort of dissipate inside your body and will eventually come out as a burp. So it's better that you fart because if you don't fart, you're going to burp your fart.
Oh my God.
It's weird that you even burp at this point.
So both men and women can be affected, and risk factors for developing the condition are not known. It may seem like an inability to burp is no big deal, but it can be severely challenging. According to this doctor, he said those who can't burp may report quality of life issues such as bloating, a gurgling noise, and discomfort with certain foods and drinks such as carbonated beverages. It actually severely impacts the life of an individual, making social situations embarrassing because the gurgling can be actually loud and the flatulence excessive. Because you're not burping, maybe some of it goes out the other end. If over-the-counter options, prescription medications, and lifestyle tweaks don't solve the burping issues, patients can turn to Botox for a potential remedy. I'm going to a call. This is Christy. She's had this issue her whole life. Hi, Christy. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, Christy. So, were you familiar with cricopharyngeal dysfunction?
I didn't know it had a name. I've always just told people, like, I can't burp, and I don't really know why. My kids just think that I'm nuts and that I just, am stupid about it or something like that. And I keep on telling them I literally can't do it.
Wow.
Even if you have taken a massive, swallow gulp of, Sprite or any sort of carbonated beverage.
Yeah, I basically, I've not really loved any carbonated beverage my whole life, and I was so uncomfortable with them. Oh. Drinking beer for me was so uncomfortable that I just...
I think it would hurt, right? The inability to burp after a while, if you're retaining enough gas, would hurt.
Yeah.
Huh.
If I need to expel any kind of burping gas or anything like that, I basically almost have to Heimlich myself to get it out. It sounds
wow.
So when you do, and excuse the indelicate question, do you end up, are you more inclined to burp or fart?
If I absolutely need to get it out, I will basically almost vomit.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's got to be that extreme.
Well, so apparently, Christy, there are treatments for this by using Botox. Now, it's a little involved because it has to, when they do this, they have to go through your neck to inject it. There's a couple different ways. They can either sedate you for it, or there is a way to do it while you're awake. But if you're really, tired of it, you can talk to your doctor about it and see what what the options are.
Yeah, I mean, I just avoid the carbonation.
Anything that's going to give you gas. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Do you get the gurgling sound, Christy?
Absolutely, and it drives me insane, and it's really embarrassing because I know that other people can hear it, and I don't ever hear anybody else's stomach doing it.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, I've been like, well, what's wrong with my stomach? What kind of alien is living in there? Yeah. And that is really annoying.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Well, it's called retrograde cricopharyngeal dysfunction, if you want to reference that to your doctor, okay?
I will.
All right, thanks, Christy. Appreciate it.
I had a condition called achalasia, which was my esophagus. It had the inability, or lacked the ability, to help through peristalsis push liquid down, or any food down my throat. And so it didn't assist in the process. So when they were testing out if that was the condition that I had, Preston, they shot Botox into my esophagus, or at least the muscles around it, and it helped alleviate the issue.
Yeah, so according to this article, Botox works by preventing a motor nerve from releasing the chemical transmitter that signals a muscle to contract. And when Botox is injected into the cricopharyngeus, the muscle can't contract and thereby releases and permits the venting of the esophagus.
Kathy, you could help lose those forehead wrinkles and swallow better. It's a win-win.
What if I said that's why I was getting it?
Another quick call, then we're going to move on to another one. But I got a lot of people who are texting in. Actually, there's two more calls I'm going to go. Matt, you've had this condition for your whole life?
Yeah, and the fact that I'm hearing that other people have it, you guys are just making my day.
Oh, good. You're not alone.
No, I'm not alone. And that last caller, she is spot on about everything. I mean, my issue was when I would start drinking beer at 18, 19 or whatever, I would only be able to drink 2 or 3 while my friends were, doing keg stands. And I'm, over in the corner dry heaving, not really understanding what's going on.
So for your only way to mitigate it, Matt, would be to kind of do that forced vomit thing?
Yeah, and it's terrible.
Wow, that sucks because
horrible.
At that time, people were binge drinking at their finest, and you were probably considered a lightweight.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm a bigger guy, so everybody's like, "What the heck's going on?" And not only can I not burp, but I can't whistle. I don't know if the two are connected.
I think they're wired to the same center, the whistle burp
That's
center.
actually weird.
Matt, question, like Christy, the last caller, have you just avoided carbonated beverages for most of your life then?
For the most part, and my esophagus is so bad, I have to go for constant endoscopies, and now they're talking about the potential of I'm more prone to cancer, esophageal cancer, and things like that. So I have to stay on top of it. And it's I like spicy foods, I like pasta sauce, but I have to try to avoid them at all costs. There's no medicine that I've found to alleviate any of that. So this is an interesting topic with the Botox.
Okay, well, you know what? Yeah, if you're interested in treatments, look into that, okay?
I will. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the call, bud. Appreciate it. All right, one last call because Kim had texted in. Now she's calling. Hey, Kim, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi. So it says here you work with a daycare with a child who can't burp.
Yes, I work at a daycare. I have babies like under 2 years of age. He has this disorder. There is, I want to say, a stent. I don't know the proper terminology.
Okay.
But it's in his stomach that we have to attach a tube to and press on it so the gas releases, and sometimes whatever he eats goes up the tube into a little
bladder.
Well, we see it, and we have to clean the tube, and it shoots up into a little plastic mechanism that we have to clean out.
So think about babies, and their discomfort most of the time is they have gas. They need to burp, and it must be tough to figure that out at first for a baby. What the problem is? Wow, Kim. So you guys got to keep a close eye on this kid then.
We do. He's a trooper. He's been through a lot, but he takes everything with stride and makes it easy on us. And that's helpful.
All right, cool. All right, well, thank you, Kim. Appreciate it.
When you're an adult human, a full-size human, it's harder to find people who will burp you.
Yeah. It's funny. When I go to bed every night, Reggie, he basically races me to my spot in the bed, and then he lays on top of me. And last night, he lays on top of me. Now, this is an 80-pound dog, and normally I like to scratch his ears and stuff like that, but for some reason last night, I just started patting his back. Dude straight up burped. I was like burping a baby. It was hilarious. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
So it's called no burp syndrome or retrograde crico, or it might be chrysopharyngeal dysfunction. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Okay, changing lives here. People realize that they're not alone.
All right, we're going to another story from the Just Sayin Institute, and then we're going to play a clip from a medical show.
Oh,
this is a new part of Just Sayin Institute. We're going to not a clip, but an intro, a theme from a medical show, and we'll see if we can identify it. So I'd like to, you guys are all familiar with Bigfoot. I'd like to introduce you to Littlefoot.
Littlefoot.
Yes, this is a prehistoric creature that apparently walked around on two legs like humans, but were hairier with a more ape-like face. Experts initially believed the tiny people who were from a shrunken variety of our own species, Homo sapiens. However, it was later concluded that they are a different species entirely named that are named after the island on which they lived. So the name is, and I'll probably mess this up, Homo floresiensis. And now leading expert has said that he believes that the little humanoid creatures could still be pattering around on the island somewhere.
We represent the Lollipop Guild.
So Littlefoot. This guy is not looking for Bigfoot. He's looking for Littlefoot.
Which island do you say?
It is, so Gregory Forth has studied Homo floresiensis for 4 decades, beginning at the University of Oxford and then University of Alberta. Nick, you'd have to look up where that is.
It's called the island of Flores, hence the name Preston, and it's in the middle of Indonesia, south of the Philippines.
So where people tend to be smaller to begin with. So how big would these beings have been?
Yeah, not that small though, I don't think, Steve. But some people are like referring to these as hobbits.
Yeah, in fact, that's
what
they call
big
them.
feet.
Yeah. They did call them hobbits. Yeah, exactly. Which
hobbits had big feet.
Bizarre. Steve, these are like the 3.5 feet tall.
Okay.
Yep. So,
I mean, it would suck if they were the size of your average Sasquatch, but had super tiny feet.
He had he wrote a book on the species in 2022 called Between Ape and Human, an anthropologist on the trail of a hidden humanoid. He recently claimed that he had spoken to people on the island who claimed to have seen miniature people known as Laihoa.
Oh, yeah, I saw them.
Before the first fossils were unearthed.
I saw them over there.
He said, what really interested me is that it was small, like the figures in Nage country, but it was reckoned to still be alive. And indeed, there were a few people around, it seemed, who have claimed to have seen one or more.
So I'm standing over there, and he says, look over there. There's a guy with super tiny feet.
The professor's hopes of finding a living Homo floresiensis were boosted when fossils were found just over 20 years ago. His book claims that these ape-man creatures lived at least into modern times, and he believes credible sightings mean there's a chance a small population still exists. The original Hobbit fossils dated back between 60,000 and 100,000 years ago, but older bones unearthed in 2016 date to around 700,000 years ago.
So it seems to me these would be easy pickings for any predator.
You would think so, right?
Right, because we're looking at an artist rendering, and they're doing some sort of performative dance around a lizard.
No, it looks like they're hunting.
Okay.
Probably. Yeah.
I think I may have brought this up on the show a long time ago, but in like 85 or 86, when I was in elementary school, Casey, you were as well, and I don't know if you remember studying this, but there was an entire tribe of people that they discovered in the Philippines called the Tassidae. And they went, like, all these anthropologists around the world went completely nuts over it, and they had never been discovered before, and they were removed from society. It turns out the whole thing was a hoax.
It's a hoax. I remember this. Yes.
And it was, it was Steve, like, mid-'80s.
It was to get grant money, was it not?
Yeah, and it was just like this whole thing where, like, everything that was written about it seemed very believable.
Yeah.
It was like they were in this weird protected part of the island where they never had any outside interference or whatever, but every bit of it was completely made up.
Wow.
So this is like kind of like that.
Well, look out
Tiny Feet.
Look out for Little Feet. All right. There was a band called Little Feet.
There was a band called Little Feet. Yeah.
It had a little foot.
And in The Land Before Time, one of the main characters was Littlefoot.
All right, so it's the JSI, the Just Saying Institute. I'm going to play the theme of a medical show, and if you can identify it, we'll give away tickets to the Philadelphia Auto Show, which is opening up this week. So let's see if you know what show this is from.
I can't do this all on my own. No, I know I'm no Superman. Superman.
All right, what medical-based show is that from? 215-263-WMMR. All right, another story is probably all we'll have time for. But I thought I would add this one. If you're looking to improve your performance both cognitively and physically, you need to start by giving a crap. Quite literally. Go to the toilet and empty your bowel. If you're about to compete in a triathlon, it will make you both faster and smarter, according to 2 recent studies.
So if you haven't taken a dump in a while, it's going to affect your cognitive abilities?
Yep. The latest research involved 13 triathletes, a cognitive test called the Stroop test, and a magnesium oxide laxative. The results were the athletes performed measurably better on the cognitive test after voiding their large intestines and finding that a finding that suggests an underexplored link between the rectum and cognitive function.
So I was watching a TED talk from a doctor, I guess a gastro expert, something, whatever the gastroenterologist, I believe. Maybe that was what she was. But she was talking about how really everything begins and ends in your intestines.
Yep, they call it gut health. Yeah.
Gut health, and for your well-being, that is the thing to make sure you're on top of.
Well, there's like a big push now on gut health. It's becoming, people are learning a little more about it. I mean, obviously it's always existed, but now it's like out in the forefront and people are learning more.
I'll take this moment to take my fiber club.
It's
the fiber club.
My younger brother, this has been his whole existence for the last few years is gut biome and gut health and all that. Right. And he was just telling me the other day that there's a new study about pomegranates and pomegranate juice and how good that is for your gut biome.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I've been taking magnesium pills. I don't know what that does for, but you had mentioned that, Preston, the Stroop.
Magnesium oxide is a laxative.
Okay, yeah, makes you poop. I
think it can calm you too a little bit, but you have to be careful with it because if you take too much, you'll be in the bathroom a lot.
I take it once a day, but I take it because my hands and feet have been cramping up like something like really, really bad.
Oh, because you're holding in the poop.
No, you know me.
All right, even in the absence of magnesium oxide, defecation led to improved Stroop test results for 9 out of the 13 individuals. Now, this is a small study, obviously, but it's going to open up more to look into
this. You know
this.
what they should do, honestly? Capture some of those little feet and experiment on them.
So a Stroop test is one that presents you with a visual of conflicting information. So the word red might appear in blue text, for example. The test participants need to say aloud the color of the text, not the color word that is written, and it evaluates cognitive flexibility and response time. A 2022 study found that patients with early-stage Parkinson's disease can exhibit mild cognitive impairment when constipated, suggesting a link between the rectum and the brain. Such a concept isn't without precedent. Your gut contains hundreds of millions of neurons, and the gut microbiome may play a role in your mood as well as neurological and mental health disorders.
I completely believe this. I mean, like before I work out, I'm very by the clock as far as regularity. Are you on a schedule?
For a long time I was. I'm not anymore.
You're sort of improvisational?
Yeah. I go off the cuff a little.
Yeah.
And sometimes I use a cuff to wipe with. But no, there was a time where I was very by the clock.
Yes.
But that was years ago.
Yeah.
It's been a while. The study wanted to investigate the link for athletes. Triathlons are taxing on both the mind and body. The athlete needs to make fast decisions to navigate the course. They have to have the fortitude to last the distance and in the process try to best their fellow athletes. The researchers previously showed that taking a dump before getting on a bike resulted in improved performance and improved blood flow in the prefrontal cortex region of the brain in triathletes. The next step after establishing a link between an empty bowel and increased physical performance was to try to identify if there's a similar link to cognitive performance. And they did. They found that more than 2/3 of the participants performed better on the test with empty bowels in the second session that they did.
Absolutely. You feel better. It's why the evacuation of your bowels or vomiting or anything, fight or flight. That's a reaction.
I mean, on a bike especially, and I'm not talking about cognitively, I'm talking about like the physical thing, because you are like kind of bent over and your knees are constantly coming up to your gut. So having a full bowel at that point is very, very uncomfortable.
If you want to help accelerate and have the bike help accelerate you evacuating your bowels, take the seat off.
And just sit on the pole.
Just sit on the pole.
Yeah.
It will clean you right out.
All right, we will see if someone knows what show this is from.
I can't do this all on my own. No, I know I'm no Superman. Superman.
Pretty easy one. We're going to go to Brad. Hey, Brad, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to see you, Brad. All right, what show is that from?
Scrubs.
Check out the big brain on Brad. Thank you, Casey. We are going to give you tickets to Philadelphia Auto Show. It's coming up this week. The Black Tie Tailgate is on Friday, and then the whole thing opens up on Saturday.
Yep, PhillyAutoShow.com.
All right, excellent. And with that, that's the end of the Just Saying Institute.
It was a wonderful
That's all we have time for, because we've got the B-File coming up. We have a guest that's on the way. Mr. Richard Kind will be joining us in a little while, so we're excited about that.
We'll have to see your Happy Meal figures.
I do have some. I have a little show and tell this morning. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back in a moment. Make sure you stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
His character and who suffers from DID, and he has 23 personalities, and there's a 24th one coming, which is a very threatening personality. And in this movie, he plays. I don't want to tell you how much because I think it's going to be fun, but it's an enormous number.
But that's crazy to have to come up with 23 characters for one.
You know what? Really, it's not any different for me as a screenwriter because they are who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're real characters. They're just being funneled through one person.
Yeah, it's James that has the problem. I have to. I'm just writing different characters.
I watched the Blu-ray had a different ending. Which I find this stuff fascinating.
Yeah.
And one you didn't go with, and it was the exact right call to go with the one you went with. But do you when you shoot those things and you actually just sit there to see them side by side and run them, do you go, that's it, or are you back and forth?
Well, I mean, part of art is listening, right?
Yeah.
So you can have an agenda. Again, if I write you this movie about you guys, you five guys right here in this thing, I can have an agenda. Oh, I want Preston to be this person and that person, and but you have to really listen because the character of Preston or the character of Kathy will start talking to you and telling you something, and if you're being arrogant in the process, it's literally in a relationship, and if you're not listening to say, oh wow, the Kathy character wants to be the dominant character, doesn't want to be the way you were thinking of her, and so it's listening to it and making the movie and looking at it, you go, wow, I thought James's character was going to do this, or I thought Bruce's character was going to go this way, but actually it's Sam's character that wants to do this, and that process of I've gotten better at listening.
You sort of step aside and let the voices come. I know it seems very
it all sounds really bizarre
and overly artsy, but I would understand that when you're writing for multiple characters, I mean, they're all living within you.
Yeah, so James, we were doing a scene, and just a random moment, just to give you a sense of what I'm talking about, and James was playing the 9-year-old boy, and he did something that he didn't know he was going to do. He was walking down the street, and he did something with something on the side of the building, and he, you know, a half second before he did it, he didn't know he was going to do that. Right? And then he did it, and then he reacted to it, and like a 9-year-old, and it was hilarious and wonderful, but he didn't pre-think that. He was being the character and listening, basically, is what I'm saying. What does the character think? Oh, wow, the character's eyes went to this thing that happened to walk by. And that in that same way, being present as, you know, having empathy. I guess as an artist, that's really what you're cultivating, is your ability to have empathy. I've always, you know, coveted the opportunity to do something where there was a pre-existing mythology and something so well thought out. Why Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and and even Star Wars, Lucas's Star Wars, why it's so effective is the backstory has been thought out so much. The backstory is the front story. It's all that work has been done. And when you guys see something on television or a movie that rings a little hollow, that's because the person walked in the room and that person didn't exist before they walked into the room.
So with that kind of just leaving things, just letting it funnel through, can we expect to see Glass face off against Stuart Little?
Maybe.
Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible. I wrote Stuart Little for you fans out there. That's why that joke actually is funny.
I'd like to thank you. I'm a new member of the board of directors of the Greater Philadelphia Film Office. I work with Sharon Pinkerton now. So I came on board this year, and now I've been brought into the fold of all things film and television in Philadelphia. What she does is amazing, but it's people like you that still highlight this area as a place to film, a place to create, a place that's got wonderful landscapes and backgrounds and all that stuff, and trying to to keep that coming into the area.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, obviously we shot a scene with Bruce down in South Philly, and we were in this house, this row home, and we came out and there's 2,000 people outside. And they were like bringing us cheesesteaks and pizzas. By the way, I ate it all. So it was so good. I mean, I'm a Philly boy. I mean, I'm a classic Philly boy. You know, it's October. We're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yes, we are. M. Night Shyamalan, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man. Yesterday, we got on a discussion for a moment about weird phone lines.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah, well, what was it?
It was you.
Yeah, there was a number we used to call that would just. And it was something stupid to do as a kid that when you would call it, it would dial or it would ring once and then it would pick up and it would go, I mean, over and over, nonstop.
It had to be like maybe for service guys working on the lines, like a calibration thing.
Maybe that was
something like that.
Something along
and you
those
happened
lines.
upon it.
No, but the reason I brought this up is because Steve came across now. One of the things is not just free phone lines like the time and temperature and 800 PHL gate. There was a time in history where the 900 exchange was quite popular, and those were paid phone calls. You mentioned celebrity ones.
Yeah, we have a couple of them.
You ready for this one?
Yeah, which one you have?
Here we go.
Audio Entertainment presents pop music's new sensation, Paula Abdul.
Call me, I've got news you can use.
Straight up, she's going to tell you everything.
Straight up, man.
You straight up call her now.
She'll tell you where she had her nose done.
And you should, because opposites attract.
Call 1-900-909-1800 now.
Call me twice and I'll send you an autographed picture.
You and Paula together. Just $2 the first minute, 45 cents each extra minute. Kids ask your parents' permission. Paula's on a rocket to stardom.
Call me now and find out why.
Pick up the phone. Call 1-900-909-1800.
We're watching the video. She was hot back in the day, man.
What if you called her up, though?
Yeah, what do you want?
Yeah. Look.
Paul, I'm a big fan. Yeah, great. You want a picture or what?
All right, here is here's another music one for you guys. Here we go.
Audio Entertainment presents Warren.
Yeah, we like to rock and roll. We like to do a lot of other things, too.
Call the Warren.
We like to rock and roll. We like to do a whole bunch of other things, too.
Like what?
Like, I don't know, like walk around, eat food, look at TV sometime.
Yeah?
Sleep. Yeah. It's the Rock's lifestyle, man. My buddy has a car. We'll drive around in it.
A car?
Yeah, car.
Kind of car.
4 wheels. Steering wheel, got it all, man.
All right, let me play it from the beginning.
Manual windows, CD player. Not at this time, right?
Not at that, though. It would have been a cassette player.
Record player?
Yeah.
Back seat, it skips a lot because, you hit bumps.
All right, here we go.
Audio Entertainment presents Warren.
Yeah, we like to rock and roll. We like to do a lot of other things, too.
Call the
Yeah.
Warren Rock Line.
We like to rock and roll. We like to do a whole bunch of other things, too. Just unless you think we're just very narrow and just do rock and roll. We do our banking and stuff, too. Grocery shop.
Yeah, we like to rock and roll. We like to do a lot of other things, too.
Call the Warren Rock Line.
We'll give you the warm, hard facts on our personal lives. Our fans always.
Warm, hard facts. Just like our units, like our penises.
Yeah.
Come first.
Just $2 the first minute, 45 cents each additional minute. Kids ask your parents' permission. You'll get the latest on tours, videos.
And what town we blew up last?
Call and hear a new message every day.
What town we blew up last?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Hang on.
And what town we blew up last?
Call and hear a new message every day. And learn how you can leave your personal message from Warren.
Or anything else you've got on your mind. Call us and find out what goes on behind tour bus doors.
Oh, let me tell you, last time we blew up, New Haven, Connecticut.
Yeah, we like to rock and roll. We like to do a lot of other things, too.
And they probably made a ton of money off their 900 number.
Last town, Little Rock, Arkansas, man, blew it up.
Wow.
Well, it's actually still there. It's just figurative speech. People, that's some of the stuff we do other than rock and roll.
Figures of speech?
Yeah. Actually, my father burned down his carpet business for insurance money. I don't even know why I just said that. That would be in the list of other things we do besides rock and roll. We make huge mistakes that will send our family members to jail. That was stupid. Learn about more stupid things we do by calling that number.
Oh, my God.
Call it twice, and I'll let you know what happens behind closed tour bus doors. We're sleeping. Because been on tour where we blew up Little Rock and New Haven. I guess I'm sort of in a loop here. I should have written down some notes. Initially, this had a whole thing.
Little Rock and New Haven?
You blew them up. Don't even look for them on a map, man. White them out. Warrant.
Yeah.
It's a shame about your dad.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake.
The inventor of the vibrator actually heard a voice that said, if you build it, they will come.
Really? Yeah. Wow.
And it was amazing.
Wow.
It's like Field of Dreams.
I know. It's just like
Field
that,
of
isn't it?
Screams, Preston.
Same thing that ended up happening with this particular thing we're about to do. It was a dream we had. The dream has been realized, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the Brickyard 500. In the corner of the Preston and Steve studios stands a track that is ready to receive racing apparatus. It is called the Brickyard, and the 500 comes from the $500 in cash that we're going to be giving away. All right, Nick is on location at the track, which is about 8 feet away from where I am right now.
We can see him from our vantage point, which is 8 feet away.
You guys are up in the sky booth.
Yes, we are.
How is the weather trackside, Nick?
That's beautiful out. You should see it from down here, Preston.
Yeah.
It is gorgeous out, and
You're close. You're close to the track, and I got to say, I have to imagine it looks pretty spectacular from where you are.
perfect conditions for racing.
Yeah.
All right, so let's meet our racers, if that's cool. We're going to start with our first one, and then we'll explain how the race is going to happen. Let's go and meet Aaron. Hey, Aaron, how are you?
I'm going to race the Duracell Pink Nightmare today.
Oh, my God. Now, let me tell you something. What I'm looking at there, if I was into this stuff, I'd get that sucker. That looks like it does everything.
I'm fairly certain this will break concrete.
Hey, Aaron, is that a jackrabbit?
It's something, all right. I have a jackhammer. I don't know.
All right, nice to go. All right, and let's meet our lone male contestant this morning. This is Michael. Hey, Michael.
Wow.
Wow. How you doing, man?
Hey. From Newtown Square, and today I'm riding the Purple Pocket Power Pen.
Purple Pocket Power Pen.
Purple Power Pocket Pen. Now, Purple Pocket Power Pen.
It's really, the fact that you can say that quickly is pretty impressive. Yeah. Preston, do you know the story? They are one and only male, and we said, the question went out, do you actually use this? Well, I'll ask you, do you actually use this?
Yes, I do.
Is it used in the back door?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We got prostate stimulation.
Okay. Oh! We don't need all the specifics on that.
To be honest, I wanted to know too.
Yeah,
I wanted to know too.
Okay.
Why don't we talk to the next contestant?
All right, let's go to our next contestant. Our next contestant is the lone anonymous contestant, and she's actually wearing a mask. We have a stormtrooper helmet on.
Yes.
Did she bring that, or is that ours?
I think that's ours, and we want to welcome Miss X. Good morning, Miss X.
Good morning, Gadzooks.
Gadzooks. All right, and tell us a little bit about what you have there. Do you have a name for your vehicle?
This is the Powerful Purple Rocket.
Another purple
And
theme.
just letting you know, this is my mask.
This is your
mask.
Okay, fair
You're
enough.
a badass.
How confident do you feel in winning this race?
I think this thing's pretty powerful.
Okay.
So I think this is going to be no competition.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Rachel.
Hi, everyone. My name's Rachel.
Nice to meet you. And
Hi.
Rachel, what do you have there? What's your vehicle?
I call this is what I came for.
This is what I came for. That's a perfect name.
I like it.
I don't want to handicap.
Before we get to the bizarre file, I would like to say hello and thank you to Queen Diana 27. She is a nail artist in New Jersey, and her TikTok account, Kathy, has...
Hold on.
It's Queen Diana 27. She has over 1.1 million followers, and she is a big fan of the Preston and Steve Show.
What?
And yesterday, she posted a video asking people to follow us on Instagram.
That's very nice.
Because we said we want to get to 100,000. We are at 98.8 thousand followers, and we'd like to hit that 100K mark. And Queen Diana posted a video asking her followers to follow us on Instagram. How cool is that?
That is cool. I'm looking at her nails.
She's got some serious nails on her, as you would imagine.
And a lot of ink.
In the video, when she's saying this, our show is on in the background.
Oh,
and
man.
she's like, I'm listening to him right now.
Wow,
I just wanted to mention this.
Really should come in here on Friday and give
do
me a
our
special
nails.
Eagles pedicure.
I don't know if she does feet or not.
Or I think she's got it right.
I don't
know.
So
Wow.
look at those
She
nails,
does some
man.
really intricate stuff.
I mean, really, for like the city of Philadelphia. Casey.
I mean, does she not want us to win the Super Bowl?
Well, yeah.
I gotta wonder again because she's rocking those super long, sharp nails like Cynthia Erivo. The Golden Globes had those. It's like, God bless. I don't know how you function with nails that long.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that she her nails are that long, but she's certainly doing people who have very long nails, very detailed nails. Do we know where she is in New Jersey?
Kath, I don't know. Marissa sent me the video, and that's all I know.
I don't know where in New Jersey, but in her comments, we now have followers from Seattle, Georgia, the UK.
Awesome.
Maryland, Florida. So, like, people are now all over the country.
That's pretty, I love that, man.
Well, thank you, Queen Diana. We really, really appreciate that. Maybe we'll meet you sometime.
Love to see you, yeah.
See about that, but I wanted to throw that out there and mention it. So, all right, let us get to the Bizarre File right now.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Bud Light Thursday night kickoff, the bonus playoff edition. And you can join Nick McWayne Thursday at Sandy's Beef and Ale in Langhorne and enter for your chance to win Eagles tickets to a 2025-26 Eagles home game courtesy of Bud Light. All right, we'll start with this. A man in India wanted to quit his job, but didn't want to tell his relative that owned the diamond company he worked for that he wanted out. And for some reason, he decided the next logical thing to do was to cut off 4 of his fingers on his left hand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can't work.
Meyer Terapara showed up at a police station claiming that he was riding his motorcycle to a friend's house when he passed out, woke up 10 minutes later, and his fingers were gone. The police suspected the man's fingers had been stolen for black magic rituals.
Yes.
But after questioning, he admitted that he had used a knife to cut off his fingers to make himself unfit for his job. Police have recovered 3 of his fingers, and the investigation continues because they obviously still have some questions about it.
So again, why didn't he just quit?
Don't know. They're still working on finding that one out.
That's an option?
Yep, he cut off 4 of his fingers.
I could have resigned.
I could have just resigned.
Yep. All right, in Ohio, a woman is accused, and see if you can follow along here, is accused of shooting a man at a New Year's get-together after learning that her boyfriend and her ex-husband were there together. Not sexually, they were just hanging out.
They were hanging out.
Yeah, so Olivia Clendenin then crashed her mother's SUV during her getaway. Emergency crews were called to a home for a reported drive-by shooting. They found a man screaming in pain who had been shot in the abdomen. He was taken to the hospital. No word on his condition. Police say Clendenin's ex-husband and boyfriend first told police no one else was at the home. A few other people came forward, and then 2 more were found hiding. Police say Clendenin's ex eventually told police that he thought that she was the shooter, and she was mad that the 2 were hanging out.
They're just hanging out.
Her boyfriend gave them the same information. They learned she had crashed a short distance away. Clendenin faces felonious assault, using weapons while intoxicated, and some other gun charges on top of that.
What was she afraid they were talking about? Dude, you get that burned rubber smell too?
Oh, dear God. So she shot him.
Yeah.
All right, a driver in Missouri pulled over. A driver was pulled over for playing a video game while speeding at 107 miles an hour on I-35.
I don't know about you. When you're playing your console games where you're driving to work, you slow down, don't you?
A little bit. At least do, maybe only 5 miles over the speed limit.
My
tops.
son follows these guys. I think they're in California. I think it's something like the I-5 guys or something like that, and they just drive down the highway looking for people doing stupid things while they're driving.
This would be at the top of the list. At 107 miles an hour?
Yeah, the incident occurred December 27th when officers stopped the white car. Police said the driver was engrossed in a video game and was also operating on a suspended license.
You know what the video game was? A race car driving game.
He now faces multiple charges and had a pending court date. The department equipped in a social media post. We forgot to ask if he was playing NASCAR, but we will assume that that's what it was. Here's a follow-up story for you guys. A baby spider monkey that was found on New Year's Eve by officers with the California Highway Patrol inside a Rolls Royce.
Yes, remember the story.
Along with a large amount of illegal cannabis and 5 cell phones, is fighting for her life. Officials at the Oakland Zoo announced. The driver of the Rolls Royce Ghost, later identified as 27-year-old Ali Mused Adel Mohammed, was pulled over by police. The female spider monkey, which zoo officials estimated between 5 and 6 months old, was brought to their veterinary facility malnourished, suffering from an upper respiratory infection and having issues with her coat and skin. It's unclear how long the 27-year-old had been in possession of the baby primate. The zoo went on to say that the yet-to-be-named primate has been provided with the necessary fluids, proper diet, and is being kept in a humidified environment to help with the respiratory infections.
That's why you can't have exotic pets like this.
Yeah, exactly. So the veterinary staff considers her case to be critical. In California, it is illegal to privately own primates. The suspect, who had the monkey dressed in a onesie, was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence, possession of an exotic animal, and possession of cannabis for sale. Now, I have a happier spider monkey story. A monkey in a pink tutu that slipped out of a Missouri home was captured just before a winter storm slammed the state.
I just want to dance.
So the spider monkey was spotted Friday afternoon at the intersection of 2 highways near the town of Otto, which is just to the south of the St. Louis area. The monkey had been staying at a nearby home when it managed to open a door and get outside. The sheriff's office said the small monkey was returning to its caretaker after careful negotiations and some coaxing. Photos posted on the sheriff's department Facebook page show a deputy kneeling on the ground before the tutu-clad monkey.
I'll come back if I don't have to wear the tutu.
And then it came over and the monkey grabbed his hands.
Aww.
It's so cute. The sheriff's office said it's a great example of how officers having to be prepared to handle whatever the job throws at them.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not part of the initial training.
Speaking of little animals, did you guys see the pictures of the baby hippopotamus that was born?
God, I love that friggin' thing.
Wait, that's not adorable?
It's like a hand with personality.
Yeah.
It's just so cute.
Is it different than Mudang?
It was
there's
just
a couple of
yesterday.
now, Nick.
Okay.
They're now, because of the original success of Mudang, there's all sorts of them up on the now the second the thing gets of any size, it will chew you in half.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It'll absolutely destroy you in a heartbeat, but it's just adorable. So, all right, and we'll end the bizarre file on that note.
All
my
right, good
friend.
question.
Yes.
Do we get a donkey and a baby hippo for the studio?
And we gotta get an otter too. If we're gonna do that, we need an otter.
Super cute animals?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about donkeys yesterday.
We're talking about
how affectionate they
They're
are.
awesome. If anyone has an affectionate donkey, let us know.
Just speaking of animated creatures. I just got a phone call from Richard Kind, and he is very excited about coming on.
Oh, excellent.
But he was worried that he didn't, he says, I'm unshaven, and I don't know if the YouTube audience is going to accept me.
He's unshaven?
Yeah. But he's good to go, and he's psyched to chat with us.
He's great.
I think a more Eddie Bauer, Man of the Mountains look on Richard Kind might be nice. It's a departure.
I'll see if he has any flannel, Steve.
Yeah.
So we will then take a break. We will come back in a moment, and we will have Pennsbury Hall of Famer Richard Kind. And I'll be sure to mention that in his introduction.
Yeah, you have to.
All right, we'll be back in a second. Stay with us.
I think this one is going to come in dead last.
I think so, too.
Because of the shape of it.
It's not.
It's not designed for racing. It may be designed for pleasure, but
it may not go anywhere. We'll find out in just a moment. And then last but not least, our final contestant is Valerie. Welcome, Valerie.
Hi there. My apparatus is the purple banana.
The purple banana.
Purple seems to be the color of self-violation.
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Nice. What we're gonna do is, I tell you what, ladies, start your dildos. Ladies, start your dildos. Are the racers ready? Yeah. All right, Marissa, in 3, 2, 1, let's go racing. And they're on their way. Wow, one has jumped out. Nix, whose is that?
that's the middle track, race number 3. That's Miss X. Oh, no, it's Michael.
It's Michael.
The lone man. Oh, the abomination.
Oh, my God, the man way out in front.
The giant pink one hasn't even left the starting line.
He's just sitting there spinning out of control, not moving at all.
Michael's is almost to the end.
Almost to the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, from race number 1, we have a winner.
Oh, my God. And let me tell you something
Okay.
here. They laughed when they said, a guy's going to be a part of this.
I know.
They said, hey, really?
Yeah.
And remember, we were mocked. People would point to us when we walk out in public.
Yeah.
You're actually going to let a man in this. Dominate.
All right, are all the racers ready?
Yes, indeed.
And 3, 2, 1, let's race. And they're off.
Oh, it's a much closer race.
Oh! Michaels is headed out to a huge lead. I can't see it all, Nick. You're going to have to describe what's going on.
Michaels is out to a big lead once again, Preston, although there is one in the lane number 3 that has been catching up. But it looks like Michaels is inching closer to the start-finish line, or to the finish line, I should say. I believe he's going to take heat number 2.
Valerie looks like she's in second place there.
Heat number 2 once again goes to Michael.
Oh, he is dominating.
He's off the track.
Wow. All right, and the ladies have started him up again. And ladies and gentlemen. All right, Nick, are they in place?
They're in place, Preston.
All right, final heat of the Brickyard 500 in 3, 2, 1, let's race. And they are off.
Wow, this one's off to a closer start than any of the races thus far.
There's a crash.
Yeah, it looks like we do have some rubbing going on, and rubbing's racing, especially when you're really rubbing it hard.
Rubbing to the point of being chafed, Preston.
Yeah, it's rubbing is something you can expect.
Oh, who's out there? Who took a lead?
It looks
Michael.
Michael.
Michael's
Once
out in
again.
front again.
You are the man.
Wow, Rachel's has crossed lanes, but we got another winner. Michael just again crossed the finish line. Unbelievable.
Earnhardt of dildos.
Yeah. Our number 1 winner by far. 15 points, way out in front, undisputed champion of the Brickyard 500. It's Michael. Hey, friend, you're a smart shopper. You know this, right? Window Nation. And I want to mention this because if you're a short smopper,
I think any shark smop knows a savings when they see it.
I think we've lost Casey. Smart shopper is what I meant.
Yes.
The best time to purchase a car or home is when the interest rates are at their lowest and you save a lot of money. What if I told you, Shark Smopper, that my friends at Window Nation are offering 0% financing on all windows for 5 full years?
Listen, you don't have to be a shark smopper to know that that's a great deal, especially because if you have a lot of windows. My wife and I just signed up with Window Nation. We have a lot of windows to replace, and they are going to do a great deal for us. They are absolutely the experts.
And you are a shark smopper.
I am a shark smopper.
Free windows as well right now. For every 3 windows you buy, you get 2 additional windows for free. There's no limit on this. Call Window Nation today. Get your new windows installed just in time for the holidays. Go with the team that's installed over 300 350,000 windows and was ranked recently 5th in the nation for window replacement. 0% interest for 5 full years and 2 free windows for every 3 you buy. 866-90Nation or windownation.com. That's 866-90Nation or windownation.com. Tell them that Preston and Steve sent you.
All kinds of rock.
The one and only Mr. Michael Ian Black.
Yes.
Hello. Hello.
How are you, Michael?
I am blown away by the traffic report. Just watching you do it live to me is unbelievable. Just a string of words just blazing out of your mouth. Just words. You say them with such confidence. Even though you're reading it, you're clearly reading it from a screen.
Yes.
You have all the information in front of you. I don't know how you do that.
Well, thank you.
You will be amazed at how many people, I mean, and we're talking top-level actors and directors, sit there in awe of Kathy's traffic abilities.
It's amazing to see that.
Yeah, even politicians have commented on that. And your screen over there, by the way, I couldn't do it. It's not all verbatim. She kind of, just gives basic information.
Much of it is wildly inaccurate, but it does present nicely.
Oh, I never find traffic reports accurate at all.
You want to try it? Do you want to go over to her
yes.
screen? Do you really?
Okay, pull up a screen.
Okay, go over there to Kathy's.
I think Michael impresses me as someone with a very competent ability.
So you're just going from here to where? All the way down?
Well,
Did you
no,
read
I don't.
all of that?
I don't
She
go,
picks out.
Yeah, like I'll pick out. I don't do everything, and I don't go in
which to How do you know? Like, how do you even prioritize Pennsylvania Turnpike? What WB? What does that mean?
Westbound.
Okay. Pennsylvania Turnpike, westbound west of Willow Grove. That's exit 343 to Fort Washington. Backed up 12 minutes. I can't do it.
He's gone. He's out.
I'm just staring at it. Where? This one?
Yeah.
Over on the Vine Street Expressway, I-676, westbound between I-95 and Broad Street, an accident that has been cleared away. We did have a 2-minute delay, so you might want to watch out. I don't know.
That was good.
That was not bad.
The amount of panic I felt in that moment.
It's pretty
the
good.
stress of that. How long did it take you to learn how to do that?
You know what?
learning?
Still learning. The first time I ever did it, I was on TV, and it was probably the worst experience I ever had.
All right, that makes me feel better that you're just not a natural at it.
I had the weather guy at the time over at the station I was working for called me afterwards, and he was like, "Look,
you're through in this business."
No, he goes, "It happens to all of us. Get past it and make sure your next one is better." And I did, and it helped because I was mortified. Fortunately, it was 4:00 in the morning.
Right.
But still, I was
Well, that's the
mortified.
time to train.
At 4:00 in the morning.
Right.
Clearly.
Right.
You know what always amazes me though with that skill set is the people who do the weather reports and have just the green screen and are pointing at things. I could not do that. I have no.
But there's a logic
ability.
to that there isn't to the trap. If you can see the weather just to the side on the monitor, and you're a trained meteorologist, you can understand that certain symbols mean certain things. But if you're just looking at a string of words like you are, somehow you have to make sense of that and assimilate it on the spot. Look. What I do is brilliant. Let's not mince words. What I do is genius on a level that you can only imagine. But what you do is a skill that probably anybody can.
You know what, Michael? You know what? The worst part.
In a way, that was a very touching compliment.
Was that a compliment?
The worst part about traffic is when you're waiting to hear the traffic and you're waiting to hear the road that you have to either avoid or get on. And then you space out, and you're like, "Oh my God,
you missed it."
What did she just say? She just said my road, and I wasn't paying attention.
That happens with me with the weather report. The one day that I'm looking to have the information for is the day I invariably glaze over and don't listen to.
Right. Well, there exists now, or maybe it's just coming online, technology where you can plug what you want into, apparently it's your telephone.
Exactly right.
And then it will actually tell you what the weather forecast is going to be. And if you miss it, you can do it again.
We are creatures of habit. And, and so we end up like you default back to a kid waiting to see if your school is closed.
That's right.
It's
All right,
all
Michael, do you live in Los Angeles?
I live in the Connecticut section of Los Angeles.
Connecticut is a little further east.
A little, so very East LA.
Furthest most eastern town or state in California.
Well, let me ask you then: how did Michael Ian Black, little Michael Ian Black, who's growing up on the shores of Connecticut, California, how did you end up in entertainment? What was the path that led you there?
I, as a very young person, I was 9 years old, and I was sent away to summer camp. And I did a play there. I don't know why. I think because there was a girl I had a crush on.
Of course.
Who was doing the play.
What camp were you at? Tecumseh?
It was not called Tecumseh. It was called Camp Najiwa.
Okay.
A Jewish camp with an Indian name. And
that's so unique.
It has a better ring than like Camp
Comanche
Shivowitz or something. It's just
Camp Shivowitz. Well, it's a joke because that's where the Indians send their kids.
Camp Cavalli.
And then I did it, and then I came home that summer, and I was like, Mom.
We're delighted to have our next guest on. We have had the pleasure of speaking with him before, and he's got a lot of things that are going on. Number one, a Broadway show called All In is happening, and he is also going to be in our area Friday, January 24th at Parks Casino for a show called How Not to Be Famous, conversation with Richard Kind. And you've known him for tons of stuff throughout the years, shows like Mad About You, Spin City, Curb Your Enthusiasm, movies like Argo, Bug's Life, Inside Out, Bing Bong. We love talking about Bing Bong, of course.
An enviable resume.
And who cannot forget a Pennsbury Hall of Famer, ladies and gentlemen, Richard Kind is joining us this morning. Hi, Richard. How you doing?
Good morning, you guys.
Great to have you on again. Thanks for joining
I'm in
us.
the theater. I'm not used to these hours. I finish at 10 o'clock at night and go out for drinks, and then I gotta do this at 8:15. It's just horrible.
It's just we apologize in advance.
We do have many interviews that are with West Coast people, so you are getting by with at least
You're right.
It's a little more friendly to you.
Yeah, but they're not theater people.
You know, it's true. Let me ask you also with something like that with theater and with a theater schedule, and I find that out even after we do the show, or any appearance or whatever, you're on a high. There's an adrenaline rush.
Right.
How long do you go? The show's finished late. How long do you go before you can even entertain the notion of going to sleep?
I could go to sleep right after.
Okay.
Look, I can go to sleep anytime. It's just that, like you say, you have that adrenaline. If you come home from work, you come home, you see the kids, you see your wife, and you sit down, you have dinner, you read the paper or watch TV, and then 2 hours, 3 hours later, maybe it's time to go to sleep. But that's not what it's like at theater. And 3 hours later is 1 a.m.
Yeah.
That's when you go home. Now, do I conk out? Yes. When I'm sitting on the couch, if I go straight home, I'm dead out. The red wine is slipping down my ruining my shirt. But you gotta sort of just come down a little bit. You're very excited, and being in front of 1,200 people every night gives you a rush.
Yeah. Hey, Richard, have you ever been a part of a show that's lasted just for months and months and months, and you're playing the same role over and over? Has there been a long, extended run in your career?
I actually have, and I don't like it at all.
Okay.
I'll tell you, this summer, I did Bye Bye Birdie at the Kennedy Center.
Wow.
Okay, it was great. 11 performances and out. All In is going to be running till February 16th, but with a different cast. We just go until this Sunday, January 12th. So this is great. This is we rehearsed for a week, and then we did it for 4.
I would imagine, and the reason I ask is because, there are people that, and listen, it's great to work, obviously, but if you are playing that same role over and over for a long amount of time, it's got to be hard.
Put a gun to my head.
Yeah.
Awful. Yeah. I don't want to do it. I think I did the producers for, 7 months. Would I have liked 4 months? Yes. And I'll tell you, okay, I won't belabor all this, but getting there is tough. But once you're on stage, it's a blast.
Right.
It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. It's a blast. But I rode the bus home the other night with a woman who's been doing Hamilton for 9 years.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I can't imagine that. So she'll be able to work for as long as she wants.
Sure.
A wonderful dancer, beautiful woman. She looks great, but her body is giving out.
Yeah.
It's tough.
There's wear and tear. We doing a morning show, and Preston was the first person I ever heard say this, is that you get used to not being used to the hours, which is true. It's atypical to the way we're normally, I think, biologically meant to function. But you talk about the love of that experience, of that theater, of that immediate reaction. I was reading an interview with you with the sort of stop, start nature of like a single camera shoot.
I have a question for you. What do you guys do at the end for the day when everybody's going, oh, I finished my coffee? What do you guys do?
So we go about close to 11. The show wraps up, and then it's funny because you go into I don't want to talk for a little bit phase. And then it's show prep. We have a conference call around 6 p.m. to kind of talk about what we're going to talk about the next day. But the funny thing is, Richard, we realize it's a show about talking about our life experiences in addition to events of pop culture and so on and so forth.
Right.
It would help to accrue some life experiences.
You got to start drinking at 2 in the afternoon. Oh my, you have a very enviable life. Wow. My gosh. Oh, what a day. Oh gosh, it's 2. What do I think I'll go play golf and drink.
You just described my life, Richard. You described my life.
Yeah. The only thing is, with these headphones, your ears must hurt.
After a while.
Are they the opposite of a boxer or a wrestler?
The opposite of cauliflower ear? Yes. Yeah.
You'd mentioned the show All In, and this is a really cool rotating cast.
Yeah.
So a variety of different really big name stars are being cycled through it. Speaking of stage royalty, Lin-Manuel Miranda, but there's also David Cross and Tim Meadows and Jimmy Fallon and Nick Kroll and all these. Hank Azaria. Your group of 4 is it's you, Fred Armisen, John Mulaney, and then who else? Who's the 4th?
It started out with Renee Elise Goldsberry, who won a Tony for doing Hamilton, and she was on Girls Five Eva.
Wow.
And then she had to leave, and so Chloe Feynman is doing it for 2 weeks.
Love her.
Awesome.
She's phenomenal.
You have no idea. Both women are special. They're sexy. They're great actresses. They're funny women. I'm there. I'm on stage, and I'm looking over, going, "What is wrong with this picture? What the hell am I doing here?" It's crazy. And the young people know them, and I ride the coattails of them.
I think I was reading. Somebody was assessing you and saying and about what a really in your career is very enviable. I use that in as part of the introduction, but. You are known for many things, but you're not so known for one character that it casts a shadow over everything else you do.
Can I tell you something? Since I was a kid, and I grew up on All in the Family and Batman, and Adam West and Carol O'Connor used to do these articles for TV Guide, which I would read voraciously, and they would say, "I'm not just Batman. I'm not just the one character I have that." No, you're not. You can say it, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're going to be Archie Bunker. You can do In the Heat of the Night, but you're Archie Bunker. Adam West did nothing. So that was my goal when I wanted to be an actor. So I get to Spin City, and they go, "You're going to be the breakout character." This is the hilarious guy. I didn't have a publicity person because I didn't want to be known. I just said, let me work and make an impression and be as good as you can. But I didn't want that quote unquote breakout character. And trust me, I wasn't. I just did my job and I kept working. And that's sort of how I like to be. I call myself parsley on a plate of meat and potatoes. Everything around me is really great. You got, Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt on Mad About You, or you got Larry David on Curb, or whatever it is. I come and support. I make the plate look a little nicer, but nobody's going to eat the parsley. You got to have the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, but I mean, like sometimes the parsley is fun to look at, right? And I have like 4 or 5 favorite shows on TV right now, and one of them is Only Murders in the Building. And one of the things that I love about it is every season they find a way to tweak it, make it a little bit different, and a lot of that has to do with the guest stars that they bring in, including you. But this year, Eugene Levy and Meryl Streep is back again.
And Galifianakis.
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy. Oh, no. I'm not saying. I'm pretty to look at. If you dip me in salt water, I could taste okay. But nobody is ordering the parsley.
But
they're ordering Steve Martin and Selena Gomez and Marty.
All right, that's a fair counter argument, but I want to ask you about that show because I really
so go
do.
to hell.
Do you have a favorite moment from filming that season, and any chance you'll be back?
I don't know about being back. They always promise you something, but in my position as a character actor, yeah, I've had more promises than shows that have come to fruition. So who the hell knows? But favorite moment of that, yes, I liked. There was a scene that I had with Griffin Dunn, who happens to be a friend, and when we were watching the movie, and then the two of us are working together, it was sort of a quiet thing. Here's a weird thing. If when you're watching it and there is a scene that you see where the Westies confront all of the people, Steve and everybody, and even the stars.
Yeah.
Nobody was there.
Really?
Nobody was there on the couch the day that I shot. I had to go the day that they had to turn the camera around. I think somebody was sick. Two of the actors couldn't be there that day. So I was acting to stand-ins, to people who were there. So this is really telling, it's been on, it's filmed, but this is what shooting is. Nobody was there. Steve, Marty, nobody was there. And I was screaming at stand-ins. And one of the guys, he was like he was almost blind. He was an old guy. He's standing in for Steve, and he's holding up the script like I couldn't even see his face. The words were so close to his nose, and I just kept laughing. And he was a terrible actor. And I just said, "Look, just get somebody to read off camera." But that happens all the time. I was on a show called, I think Leverage. I think it was Leverage.
Yeah.
Where I was a character who got shot. And I got shot on a rooftop, and it started raining, and they couldn't do it, and I had to leave that night. So when you see me get shot, it ain't me. It's somebody else.
Okay.
It's wild because part of Hollywood lore and legend and myth involves just what you're describing, that dynamic. There's the classic scene in the back of the limo and on the waterfront.
On the waterfront.
Where it was Steiger.
It ain't a limo; it's a taxi cab.
Yeah, Steiger and Brando hate each other. And so they refuse to do the scenes, with each other. And then the actors who are revered, Richard, are the ones who, even if they're not need to be there, go and support the other actors. Right? Have you had that similar experience?
I wouldn't call the word revered, but it is the right thing to do.
Yeah,
it just is. But we all know actors; they ain't the nicest people in the world, or they're self-consumed.
Yeah. All right, so just a few weeks ago, I saw my favorite band is Fish, and I saw on one of the fan sites called Fish on Film. You had a picture taken with Trey Anastasio, and it looked like it was backstage somewhere. It also looks like you're wearing the same sweater now, but what was that all? Was he backstage at your show?
Hang on.
Wait,
it looks like the image froze up on Zoom.
You made him laugh, Case.
He was laughing so hard.
The data was
the picture is frozen on his mouth open. Marissa, it's frozen. So do you know what to do?
Text him already.
Yeah, okay, Marissa's going to try and text him.
It's a great shot of Richard, though.
He is wearing
like
the same sweater. But he's backstage. You can see there's a cinder block wall behind him, and it's him and Trey who are kind of standing arm in arm. And Casey, do you know if he is indeed a Fish fan or not?
I don't know. But I know. I know that Trey lives in New York City, and I know that he is a huge fan of live theater and Broadway. So I wouldn't put it past Trey to be backstage at Richard's show.
Okay,
that makes more sense, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, especially because Fish wasn't playing, but
he's going to call back into the Zoom, so it should be just a matter of moments before we get him back on the show.
Okay.
But both on Fish on Film's Instagram and on Richard's, because Richard reshared it, there was no context. It would just, there's no context to what the picture was about. Yeah.
It seems there's so many, obviously we hear about Trish all the time through you're a big conduit, but there are a lot of established celebrities.
Did you see Drew Carey at the New Year's Eve show?
Yes, yeah. He's a freak for fish, is he not? Yeah.
No doubt. Does it look like we have him back on?
We're working on it.
Okay.
I see me right now.
Oh my God, you're
amazing. Yeah.
So good.
But we'll get him back on in just a second.
You took a lot of advice from that GQ segment yesterday with you.
Well, look over his left shoulder. He's eyeing up some sort of a suit or something like that on his on your laptop. What are you looking at
just
there?
A commercial. It's an IMDb Richard Kind page.
Do you ever wonder before we go to Zoom what's on your? Make sure your laptop doesn't have anything.
No, I don't. And you might see porn. I don't know. For all I know. All right, so we're working on getting them on. But this, while we have a second to talk about this all-in show, Fred Armisen, John
Recording
Mulaney.
in progress.
Oh, there we go.
Back?
It looks like we're back. Richard, are you there? Can you hear us?
And that's how Donald Trump and I had a beer.
Wait a second, we missed that whole story, Richard.
I'm back. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. So when we last left you, Casey had just commented that you were wearing the same sweater in the picture with Trey Anastasio. Can you tell us about that?
I know. That'll teach and insult my wardrobe.
Where was that picture taken?
It was backstage at a theater at NYU. You know who Jack Antonoff is?
Yes, the producer and Taylor Swift.
Yep. Well, he is a friend of mine. He has a wonderful show every year that raises money for the LGBTQ community. And it's a fundraiser, and he has great people. And Trey was there. I was backstage. Mike Birbiglia. There are a few people. And he played there. A lot of people playing music. And I was just there. I wasn't supposed to perform, nor did I perform, but I'm backstage, and and he meets me, and he goes, "Oh my God, it's the Mount Rushmore of comedy." I meet him, and I go, "Oh my God, there's the guy who helps fill Madison Square Garden every New Year's Eve."
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's nuts that he knows who I am, and I'm meeting him, and we're just, palling around. Asked me to sing one Fish song.
No.
But you were aware of each other.
Oh my God! Yeah. I'm not an idiot. Yes, I am. I say that because there are plenty of rock stars today.
Richard,
I just don't know who they are.
If you don't mind, I'd like to get a little anecdote from you. I'd mentioned the movie Argo in the introduction.
Sure.
Great scene with you and Alan Arkin and Ben Affleck. And Alan Arkin is just such a treasure. He was so wonderful. I loved him so much. I assume he seems like a guy like you probably knew in the industry. Were you guys familiar with each other? Were you friends?
You know what? We were. I'll tell you why. He used to be, he helped start Second City out in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big, he started as a musician. He was in the group The Terriers, which made Deo, Deo, Banana Boat Song.
Yeah. Wow.
He recorded that originally.
Did not know that.
Not Harry Belafonte. They did.
Wow.
Along with a guy who just recently died, Marshall Brickman.
Screenwriter.
Yes. Andy Hall. Yeah.
Woody Allen he worked with.
That's right. So I knew I knew Alan from Second City.
Okay.
And then one time I was asked to play Pebble Beach, the golf tournament, but I was given a role in a movie with Alan, and I turned down Pebble Beach just to do it, even though I knew the movie would never see the light of day, which it didn't. I couldn't even remember. But then years later, I was able to work with him in Argo in a pretty classic scene.
It is. It's a very classic scene. I loved you.
Yeah, it is in and of itself. It's very, very good. It really shows an ugly side of Hollywood. It's great.
Yeah.
And Alan, okay, I'm going to tell you a story.
Okay.
Because he's passed away now. It's a story that I used to not tell. Huh. But now that he passed away, it's sort of indicative of how great an actor he was.
Okay.
There was a time when he had heart problems, okay? And his doctor forbid him from working because he used to get anxiety from memorizing the lines.
Huh.
As you grow older, you have problems memorizing lines. He couldn't do it as well as he could, so he didn't feel comfortable. And so the doctor said, you cannot act. So what happened was the doctor said, if you use cue cards, you can work. so that you don't have to worry so much about memorizing lines. So he did Argo. And it was a scene where he had a decent-sized monologue, and it was all on cards. So I show up that day, and he goes, I'll do my best down there. Richard, listen, I can't do the scenes anymore. I can't act. But so they put them on cards. I'm so sorry. It's not what an actor should do. I'm so sorry. I go, Alan, you're the best. Of course, it doesn't matter. So right by my face were cue cards. So he would be acting to the cue cards, but he was such a good actor that he couldn't help but make human contact, and his eyes would wander over and to look at my eyes, because that's what an actor does.
Yeah.
You feed off who you're talking to.
Yeah.
So he had to use the cards, and he kept wandering over. I ended up doing with the entire scene, his entire monologue, I put my head like under the desk so that he wouldn't even be tempted to look at my face. That's how it was. And what you are seeing is him reading and acting, and he's not looking at the camera. It was so good, and it breaks your heart. I was doing all my lines into my lap because he.
It's an astonishing. I mean, one of the great movie. I know you're a big fan of pop culture and movies as well, and one of the great movie experiences. I remember years ago watching "The Heart Is a Lonely Hunter," which is an amazing performance, and not a lot of people know about that movie.
That's right.
And to catch 22, two diametrically opposed performances, but that's how good.
How about Wait Until Dark?
Wait Until Dark was a killer, yeah.
The Heart Is a Lonely Hunter. It's crazy.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Second City means a lot to you, doesn't it? Your years there. Explain what that means to you as far as a comedic actor, because you don't qualify yourself. Sometimes people say you're a comedian, but you describe yourself as a comedic actor.
Yeah, I am not a comedian. I am also not necessarily a comic actor. And when I'm doing a serious role, let's hope I'm not a comic actor. But I am a comic actor. I'm an actor who's known for comedy, because that's primarily where I get that's my bread and butter. But Second City wasn't all. You're not always doing funny. Well, you are. You're always doing a funny scene, but within that scene, usually to make it last and make it resonant, you have to be serious in setting up what the issue is. I do a piece in this show right now called All In that I do. We're literally reading pieces that were in the New Yorker by a great writer named Simon Rich. And I do a scene where I'm the doctor from The Elephant Man.
Yes.
And I go and I try and introduce my wife to the Elephant Man in order to alleviate his loneliness and his sorrow and bring him happiness. And after a while, this doctor feels that his wife is having an affair with the Elephant Man, and I am convinced of it. And I start going nuts, and I'm being cuckolded. And I know
the Elephant Man.
The Elephant Man. And there are serious parts to it where I have to talk about my love for my wife, and it doesn't get any laughs at all. But in order for the comedy to resonate, you got to go to the opposite side, which can sometimes be, I'm not going to say tragedy, but deep, heartfelt emotion.
Sure.
That's what I did. To be honest, that's sort of my stock and trade.
Yeah.
Is that I can break your heart and then make you laugh afterwards.
No, that's for sure.
I mean, that's exactly what Bing Bong did. And I mean, speaking of emotions, Inside Out really it's a perfect movie, and your contributions to it are also perfect. And I've really grown to love over the last couple of months Inside Out 2. I think that the way that those movies represent emotions and emotional states, especially in the sequel, Anxiety, which is voiced by Maya Hawke, it's just remarkable how they're able to visualize that. And I'm curious as to if you saw the sequel, what you thought of it.
Okay, let's set one thing straight. I die in the first. Okay, spoiler, but I haven't seen it. Sorry.
Yeah.
But so being in Inside Out 2, they could have put me into a round peg into a square hole and got me in there or something. And I know Pete Docter, who created the original. I said, Pete, don't worry. It's okay. Well, it's the most successful animated film of all time. So we're talking about every actor's going to get $500,000 to $1 million. So let's not talk so lovingly of Inside Out, too, okay? So let's start right there.
Sorry, I should have framed the question differently. That's
first the sweater,
It was
this.
it was substandard.
Let's see what number 3 is going to bring.
right. My fault.
Pixar, when Pixar makes a movie, I always say it will never be remade. They do the best they can, and you got to be out of your mind to try and remake it. They spend years and years and years making the best picture they can. They work on the script, they work on the animation, they rewrite. While they're animating, you get it back and you do the voice again. I must have gone in 8 to 12 times doing the original, re-recording the original script. How do I feel about it? It's another masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
They make masterpieces. You look at 90% of their movies, Coco, Toy Story, Toy Story 2 and 3, they're masterpieces. Who makes, other than Godfather 2, what other masterpiece gets made as a sequel?
Yeah.
They're incredible. So what did I think of it? I hate it so much.
Well, you have a fair amount of voiceover, animation work, and a lot of people talk about the actors that we've had come through who've done it say that it's fun, but it is disjointed because a lot of times it's you and the director and writer in a sound studio, and you're not with the other actors you're technically interacting with. Can you work that well, or is it still sort of jarring to have to work that way?
It's by no means jarring. It happens.
Yeah.
No, it's not as tough as you think. And sometimes you get to hear what's already been recorded. There is a funny story about that. I was at a part, well, he's now verboten to name, but back when he was a great actor and was beloved, Kevin Spacey was in the movie Bug's Life,
right,
playing the villain. He played my brother. So, okay, I had done a reading with him years before. I had met him. I knew him a little bit. I'm at a party. He had just come out with, what's that movie that won the Academy Award?
American Beauty. American Beauty, yeah.
No.
Usual Suspects.
The one where he was the criminal.
Usual Suspects?
Yeah.
Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
He just won the Academy Award for Usual Suspects. And so this is how long ago it was. I'm at a party with him, and I want to go up and tell him I saw him in Usual Suspects. I think he's great. I think he's wonderful. What an actor. I don't know whether you remember me. We've met before. We did a reading of a blah, 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 blah. And I'm going through it in my head. What am I going to say to Kevin Spacey? Excuse me, Mr. Spacey. And all of a sudden, there's a tap on the shoulder, and I turn around. He goes, we played brothers in a movie. And it was Bug's Life. So he was telling me. He's the one who came up to me and said hello and had a good first line.
That is wild.
Yeah, so that's what it's like.
Richard, if you're just tuning in, gang, it's Richard Kind who we're talking to, and you're going to be performing your show, How Not to Be Famous, at Parks Casino, January 24th. And what is this? What's the format of the show?
Okay, here's what it is. First of all, and I'll explain, the title really should be an actor, a journeyman actor, or How Not to Be a Star.
Okay.
But they changed it to How Not to Be Famous. It is for people who are expecting stand-up, you're not going to get stand-up because I don't do stand-up. Like we said earlier in Second City, I'm not just funny. What I'm doing is I'm going to be interviewed for a bit of time, let's say 45 minutes or so, an hour, telling stories like this. Okay. I mean, it's just, if you're enjoying this, driving and everything like that, come and see it. This is what I'm going to do. I can get very animated. I tell really good stories. My life has been interesting. The people that I know are interesting. So I got stories. And I'll sort of elucidate what acting is like and what being an actor like me is like when you get to be in big things, but I'm not a star. I don't get the big paychecks. What it's like to be Parsley. That's what it is.
Well, okay, that's good though.
There are interesting things. Then we're going to start out with a short film that shows sort of encompasses my career. Then, because I think it's an outrage to pay money to hear me say these things, because I'll tell you this over an open-faced turkey sandwich at a diner. If they're buying, I'll do it. And I'll tell you all you want. So anyway, I then think I should be entertaining them. So there's a story that John Mulaney does in the show that we're doing now that's very funny, and I'm going to act that.
Oh, cool.
So you'll get a couple of minutes of me performing, and then we'll take questions from the audience.
Great.
And then by that time, the audience will say, "Please go home, Richard. You've had enough. How much more can you talk about yourself?"
No, I love the concept of an evening with, and I don't want you to burn off a potential story, but I'm a fan of the movie Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Oh yeah,
and George Clooney directing. I think that's where you guys possibly first met. But did you?
It is not.
I assume you interacted with. It's the quote unquote story of Chuck Barris. Did you any recollections of stories or moments that you had with him?
This is where my life gets really disappointing and boring. Didn't meet Chuck Barris. I have one line in the movie. I did a favor for George, but it was his first movie. So whenever anybody says, "Why doesn't George give you a part in the movie?" He has. It was one line. And I played a judge on the Gong Show, or maybe do you remember it, or was I playing a TV executive? I
think you were playing an exec. Yeah,
I was playing an executive.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sitting there, and then they moved the scenery away. It was one afternoon. I wasn't nearly as famous, but I was okay. It was a face you would know. But how many years ago is this? 25?
So it's a while.
Yeah, it was a while. Yeah.
The reason
we
I
had
asked
Chuck in the studio.
We'd had him in the studio, and he was just he was terrific. I mean, and
he's fantastic.
He's like you, with stories behind the scenes, and had no problem with telling everything, warts and all. And it was just a great interview.
Well, that's his autobiography.
Yeah.
And no, I never met him at all. I knew Sam and met Sam that day. I may have been on set for 4 hours.
Wow.
So that's it.
Wow.
So you're going through what you saw in those 2 hours. You think, oh, everybody got together and Julia Roberts and Drew Barrymore and blah, 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 blah. I didn't see any of those people. I got nothing.
It seems to be the giant misconception of movie viewers. And there was a documentary that came out about the Brat Pack recently, and every single one of them was like, "I haven't seen that person since we were in that movie together in 1985." Everybody thinks that we're these pals and we were going around and hanging out all the time. It's work. It's an industry. And some people you do have working relationships with and you stay friends with, and other people you work on this project and then you go your separate ways and maybe you never see them again for the rest of your life.
That really is the truth. And like you say, I met none of the people on this. I have since met. I have a great story about Julia, in that when they were filming Ocean's 11. But okay, but the evening will be a warts and all as well. I will be disappointing a lot of people by telling them this is what goes on a set.
Right.
This is what happens. And who would have thought that Alan Arkin would be reading cue cards while Richard Kind was doubled over, giving himself a blowjob. His head was in his lap. So that's what it was. But a funny story about Julia Roberts. It's really pretty funny. They were doing Ocean's 11, the first one in Vegas, and they had there were these huge 7,000 square foot rooms at the hotel. What was it? It was
Bellagio?
No, it might have been the Bellagio. Okay, let's call it the Bellagio. Huge. They were way off on. They were magnificent. The hallways must have been 15 feet wide. They were huge. But there were only 2 bedrooms. So they had rolled up a cot for me. Okay, George had one of the bedrooms, and then Waldo, our good friend and his hairdresser, had the other one. But they never saw each other. It was a huge apartment. But they had the most comfortable queen-size cot. It was huge. So it was in the hallway. Okay, or it was in some room or anything like that. I got drunk. I fell asleep on it. They dragged me out into the hallway.
Yes.
And they put me against the wall. That's where I fell asleep. The next morning, I wake up. Everybody's gone, and there's a knock on the door. I'm in my. I think I was in my pajamas. I go to the door. I open up. It's Julia Roberts.
No way.
It's Julia Roberts. I'm in my pajamas. She goes, "Is George here?" I go, "No, but you can come in. Wait." And I got back into bed, and she comes onto my bed cross-legged, and we talked for 2 hours.
Oh, my God.
Never met her in my life.
Oh, wow.
And we talked for 2 hours. Yeah.
That's
and then we
pretty wild.
started making out, which I
That's a story you save for Parks.
Can you imagine? She has since become a friend, and I see her all the time.
Wonderful.
And she's very nice. But that was the first time I met Julia Roberts in bed. She's sitting cross-legged. We're talking about all sorts of things.
That's
And it was
awesome.
great. Yeah, so that one's a good one.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you about your dad was a jeweler and what-
he owned a jewelry store in Princeton.
Right.
He was a retailer.
and you the general goal was that you would go into the business, but they were not overly arch about you pursuing it. But did you enjoy whatever you experienced of the jewelry business while you were doing it?
Yeah, you know what? Nobody's ever asked me like that. Oh, I liked it. I was raised. Look, I'll pat myself on the back. I think I'm a nice person. I liked waiting tables because I like food and I like serving people and I like people having a good time. My dad once said that nobody ever buys jewelry for a bad occasion. And that's a really lovely thing. Can you imagine being in a business where all you're doing is bringing happiness? Oh my gosh, look what I got. Look what I'm going to get. Look what I bought for this person. There's never a bad reason to buy jewelry. And my dad's stuff was really high-class quality. His competition was Tiffany and Cartier because Princetonians could go into New York and buy their jewelry there and be anonymous, or they could be well taken care of by my dad.
Right.
And there's a lot of money in Princeton. So I really had a good time. I don't love jewelry. Okay, I don't like clothes, as is obvious. But I don't like jewelry, clothes. What other people really get a kick out of, I don't much get a kick out of. But like, there were funny stories. Like a woman had these dome-shaped gold earrings, and she brought one in, and she said, and it was all chewed up and everything. And she goes, "My dog got a hold of it. Can you, we have the other," she goes, "Can you fix it?" And I said, "No, but if you bring the other one in, we can get a dog and feed it to him."
You can get a matching set.
Stuff like that I enjoyed. But I enjoyed being a salesman, but my dad could sell ice cubes to the Eskimos.
Yeah.
He was that good. But he believed in what he was selling.
That's great.
So
Well, you clearly found your path, which has been a great success for you. And I'm excited for people to come out and see your show.
It's Parks Casino, which is, how many does Parks Casino hold?
It's a good room. It's a good room.
It's a couple thousand, I think.
What? No.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that 80 come.
maybe it's
about
more like 800.
I think it's 1,500. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Nick's going to look that up.
It's 40,000, Richard. We just checked.
Okay, there you go. Well, did I say Trey Tanagia was going to be with me?
Steve is right. It's 1,500 people. It's a 1,500 seat venue.
Well, who knows how many people, but it is fun. I will tell you that. I've done it many times before at various places. I'm going to be doing it in Waukegan. I'm doing it in Indianapolis. But I'm going to Philly, to Ben Salem first.
Well, let me pay you the highest compliment. You're an old style raconteur. Somebody who was great with they used to say George Jessel was a raconteur, could tell us. You have many stories that are amusing and insightful.
Maybe I'll even tell a joke or two.
Okay.
And I have some really good jokes. Not good jokes, really good jokes.
Really good jokes.
And since it's a casino, I can make a dirty joke. So I'll tell dirty jokes.
The show is Friday, January 24th at Parks Casino. You can get the tickets at parkscasino.com. It's an 8 p.m.
come see
show.
it.
Most definitely.
It's a fun. It's about an hour and a half, maybe a little longer. And I guarantee you 20 minutes later, you'll forget it.
Enjoy, folks. Richard, you're one of our favorite people. Thanks for coming on this morning. Good luck with
Thank
everything.
you, guys.
We'll talk to you soon. You got it. All right, Richard Kind, guys. Oh, my God. He's just
terrific.
the absolute best.
20 minutes later, you'll forget it.
Is the best.
I just got a text from our friend Perry Shaw. He's a local artist. He did the concert poster for our Unplugged night at Camp Out for Hunger. And he just said, man, and he shared a picture of him and Richard. I guess it may be an album release party or something like that, but I just want you to look at this picture, Preston, and tell me what Richard's wearing.
Oh, my God.
The
stop.
exact same sweater.
No way.
Stop. Are you for real?
Look, here's the picture.
Right
here.
That's
But
his,
what I'm trying to
go-to.
find out is whether or not that was at the same event that he was at.
That's funny.
With Trey.
Oh, maybe it was.
Oh, that's
Could have been,
excellent.
yeah.
That is excellent.
It's more than likely the case.
God, I love talking to him. I love people who can tell a story like that. He's just wonderful. Wonderful. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back in a moment. We still got more to get to on this program, so hang out for a bit. Our break will be short.
Preston and Steve.
Yeah.
And then, she was like, whatever, because I was 9. But then I never wavered from that. So I'm now living the life choices made by somebody who could not tie his own shoes.
But it's interesting because you're a writer, you're a performer, you've directed. You have these sort of things that present themselves to you. Like my focus was originally going to be television and try to do the radio came along. I'm like, oh, this is what I've been looking for. This is great. But I think the thing that I've found with many people is that, and we've said it time and time again on the show, at a certain point, you say, am I going to do this? And then you eliminate safety nets and just go for it.
Well, I never gave myself the safety net to begin with.
Okay.
I think most parents encourage their kids to, get a degree in something or have some kind of backup plan. And I knew that if I did that, it would be too easy to do the backup plan and not do the thing that I wanted to do. So my feeling is that when I started, everybody said, show business seemed like an impossible way to make a living. I didn't know anybody in show business. Nobody in my family was in. It just didn't. It seemed so remote. But crazily enough, as I've gotten older and into the business economy has changed, people in creative professions in a strange way have an advantage because we're used to hustling, we're used to doing stuff, and these jobs, at least so far, can't be outsourced. So in a weird way, my profession is more stable than the professions that were stable when I was a kid.
It's more merit-based. It's more, that makes sense.
In my case, not so much merit. It's just the fact that I'm gorgeous.
Yeah, it's just the sheer...
I guess that's merit in its own way.
Yeah,
but I'm just gorgeous. So I've just been very fortunate. Just in terms of my cheekbones, I've been very fortunate.
Yeah. Jackie Bam Bam, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, there's a little delay, but I'm here. Take a look at this guy. Can you see him?
By the way,
Friday the 13th. Hi, Michael. Whoa.
It's Halloween, and it's Michael Myers.
And then we have a chain-wielding maniac from the Bates Motel, and actually 2 of them. One of them has a scarecrow mask on. Another one has just a psychotic-looking face. So, Jackie, they look like they're ready to go, man.
Can you smell the gasoline from here? I'm ready to play with some dangerous toys. I'm ready.
He's so into this.
Jackie?
We're going into the house right now.
Okay.
Damn
now,
it.
we heard that our birthday boy might be awake, so we have to go with a different tactic.
Okay.
Oh, no. Okay. Okay, you guys ready, Jackie?
Here we go.
All right.
On 3.
Go ahead.
Okay? Everybody ready. 1, 2, 3.
There's no one in the bed. It's an empty bed. Are they in the wrong room?
Where did he go? How did he work on it?
Wait.
He was supposed to be here. We had scouts.
Don't drop the F-bomb, please.
There's nobody in the bedroom.
Amazing.
There's absolutely no one in the bedroom.
Go to the bathroom. I think he's taking a piss.
His bed is made.
Let's go in the bathroom. He might be.
Yeah, he'll never see you coming.
Yeah. Oh, my.
I don't think his bed is made. He didn't sleep in that bed last night.
I don't even think he's there.
No, he's not.
Look at how confused everyone looks.
Where's our boy at?
I feel bad for the guy.
Preston wants to say hello to you.
Oh, here, hang on. I'll bring up the phone line. Hi.
I am utterly disappointed.
Is this Jimmy?
I don't know how this happened. I'm like shaking here because I'm so angry.
This has never happened before. I can't. Well, we've done enough of these. Eventually, it was bound to happen.
I think it's great.
Well, you know,
It's
I
just
say
difficult.
he doesn't get his chainsaw.
I'm wondering about that too.
Yeah.
You know?
I think they're starting up the chainsaws again, guys.
There's no need to start up the chainsaws again right now. Is there?
No.
Yeah.
I think we can just move on to the next one.
Wow.
The next cemetery, away we go.
That's fake.
He's fake?
Yeah.
You sure? Michael, be careful, Michael. Happy Halloween, I'm here.
Are you ready?
All right, let's go. Okay, there's a deer head, there's some saws. Oh, this guy's really into horror movies. Yeah, let's get everybody upstairs.
Up the stairs again.
It's a tight staircase.
Yeah, it is.
There's Jackie's ass crack.
Jackie's ass crack.
Yeah.
Tight like the crack of my ass.
Okay, we're gonna go on 3. Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah. We're ready.
Ready?
I'm always.
We're gonna go on 3. Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
Start him.
Happy Halloween!
She completely covered herself up.
Chainsaw wake up.
I see that.
Somebody got you.
God damn it, Joe.
God damn it, Joe.
Is that Curry?
Hi.
Hi, Curry.
Good morning.
Is this Carrie?
Yes.
Carrie, say hello to Preston and Steve.
Hi.
Hey, Curry. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, good morning.
She can't hear with the chainsaw.
Hey, Curry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah, this is courtesy
Is that
of
my fire
Steve.
alarm?
He wanted, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right. They have gasoline operated devices. It's probably setting off your. It's okay. There's no real fire. Just gas fumes. You'll be okay.
Hey, Kathy's asking if she has clothes on. Do you have clothes on? Are you? There you go.
Hi, honey.
Curry, do you have clothes on?
No, I don't.
Well, that ought to teach you.
Hi. Seriously, like a whole ton of people in my
A whole lot of people.
Try not to drop any curse words. We're live on the radio right now.
Well, not now, dick face.
Our boyfriend just took the battery out of the fire alarm. Here.
Okay.
Very good.
Remember to replace it.
Yes.
That was
nice. The room's a mess.
That would have ruined it.
If I cleaned up the mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently you're a big.
She's half naked. The other roommate just
Not
came
half.
downstairs. Hi, y'all.
Not half.
Happy
She's fully
Halloween.
naked.
Say hi to Preston and Steve.
Are you
Okay. I gotta bring the audio down because they're cursing way too much.
She's the unhappy roommate.
She looks like the unhappy roommate. So listen, Curry, this was courtesy of Steve. He says that you guys, both you and Colleen, are big horror fans. So we thought this would be a fun way to get you up on Halloween morning. Do you agree?
Yeah. Now that the shock's worn off, yeah, this is pretty funny.
All right, cool. And to fellow horror fans, have a great day today and put some clothes on.
And then I have one last story. That's it.
Man, this is we left high and dry now.
Ray Donovan alum Paula Malcolmson and Da Vinci's Demons Blake Ritson are joining Sci-Fi's Superman prequel called Krypton.
Really?
Yes.
This is interesting.
Well, that's why I brought it up. I knew you would find it interesting.
You finished strong.
Which is set to premiere in 2018. The show will be set 2 generations before the destruction of Superman's home planet and will follow his grandfather as he fights to save his House of El from chaos.
What if Superman's grandfather, though, was just an accountant on Krypton?
Okay.
Not as exciting.
No.
Here's some deductions you probably had not considered.
Episode 1.
You have to do estate planning.
Right.
You have to. You can never know. Look, the planet could blow up. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the planet could blow up someday. Right, crazy. I know, crazy talk. Blah, 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 blah. And here you are, and then the planet blows up, and we don't, things go awry. It happens.
I wonder what his name is. He had Kal-El.
Sal.
Maybe he's Mel-El.
Sal-El.
Sal-El. Krypton, CPA.
Thanks for having me over today, folks. This will take about an hour. Have some documents for you to sign.
No, but I never wanted to get a trampoline once I had kids. I'm like, I don't think so.
Well, you hear too many stories.
Too much liability, too.
Yeah. Oh, your neighbors? Oh, yes.
Everywhere I lived, there was always at least one in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And you could just go use theirs.
But these places sound, because it's not just the floor, it's the walls.
Well, you jump from trampoline to trampoline, and they've got padding in between them. And then, yes, they have some, Steve, that are at an angle.
Yeah.
Now, they have very specific rules about what you can and can't do.
Okay.
As far as, and there are little videos that are running that you can't, do flips off of the ones that are off of the.
Oh, you can't?
I'm pretty sure. Kathy, did they have like a video running? I'm thinking of Sky High, they have it.
Yes. No, they had something when we were waiting in line for the obstacle course. They had a video running.
Because I was so bummed that I couldn't, because I went to the Sky Zone.
Yeah.
And I couldn't use that one. I was like, all right, we'll start it here at the foam pit, and then I'm going to go over to that one where they have trampoline walls. And I never got to do the trampoline walls.
Here I go.
I need to go back there because when I what's that place called? Get High?
Get Air.
Ricochet.
Get high.
That's a different part.
Get High are open Monday through Wednesday, noon to midnight. But
Get high.
Because I went there to pick my son up from a birthday party, and I ended up jumping a little bit just, because it was the end of the night. Everybody was kind of getting their shoes on. So, I had to.
You went for a jump.
I had to impress the kids.
Gonna go for a quick jump.
Look at this fat guy jump.
Somebody's texting in next mixer, trampoline park.
I think so.
That would be cool.
Party or something
we can
like
all
that.
leave with sprained ankles and hurt backs.
I said, and another potential to hurt ourselves. I want to have a roller skating party sometime.
Yes.
That's been has to happen.
It has to. Can I wear a helmet though?
Yeah.
All right. You're not gonna make fun of me?
Well, of course I am.
I need like wrist guards.
Casey, I've been when we do the river rink ice skating. Casey always wears a helmet to that, and I just find it funny because it's nothing but kids and one adult skating around with a helmet on.
I want a roller skate.
an inspiring story from Touchstone.
Oh no,
he wasn't like the other children.
Oh dude,
he was a full-grown man with his own children.
Kathy, earlier this morning, I had thanked a woman who on TikTok had asked her followers to follow us on Instagram.
A nail girl.
Yeah, her name is Queen Diana 27. So you had asked where she does nails.
Yeah.
Where in New Jersey? She's based in Woodbury Heights.
Oh, okay.
And so she heard the shout outs and said thank you. And she does not do pedicures, Casey.
We had assumed she seems all about the fingernails.
Yeah, but she has over 1 million followers on TikTok. So she's quite popular. It has some wild looking nails on.
Well, those things can become so popular. Like that's not just because I'll take somebody. I take these women sometimes from China. Their nail art, and I'll take it into my girl and say, hey, can you do this? So you can become pretty popular.
Yeah.
Doesn't you don't have to live around here to follow her.
By the way, on Instagram, we are one follower away from 99,000.
Oh,
and then we have 1,001 more.
And so they became dice.
Okay, so I thought I would mention that. So let's fix that right now. Somebody follow us on Instagram.
Speaking of Instagram, Preston, I got a funny message following your shout out to Queen Diana, and this is from Julie Reel. She messaged me on Instagram. She says, I went to go see Queen Diana's site, and I ended up seeing a foot fetish site called Queen Diana.
Oh, no.
I guess they're super close.
Queen Diana?
Queen Diana. That's all about foot fetish stuff.
Okay.
Queen Diana
27.
Yes.
Queen Diana,
Kathy?
27.
Yes.
OnlyFans.
I don't know.
Sayin.
Listen, hey,
it's a gold mine.
maybe I already have one.
Hey,
She's
sometimes
Queen
you
Diana.
You don't know. You can stay completely anonymous on
Feety feet.
on OnlyFans. Feety feet.
That's my handle.
Feety feet.
I love that. Wow. All right. Well, listen. I thought we could play some show and tell this morning.
Yes.
I brought in some things.
It's a little
this
bit of
morning.
nostalgia from your days of school.
Yeah. Oh, you're playing. Oh, I see. Casey pulled up a song, and I'm like, show and tell. No, it's show, don't tell from Rush, which, by the way, starts off really quiet.
Yeah.
The first time I put this on, I turned it up really loud, and it scared the hell out of me because it really kicks in. You'll hear it here. Yeah, in just a second. All right, anyway. So yesterday I had mentioned on the air, and I don't even know how we got slightly on this conversation, but I had some things that
You're cleaning out.
Yeah, okay, I'm cleaning out, making some room in my home.
And you asked Kathy about if she gets rid of things as she adds things to the house.
Yeah, and I had some things that I've held on to because maybe they would be worth something, they have a little sentimental value, and I've realized over time they've just been sitting in boxes for decades, and
it's not just
doing no one any good sitting in there.
It's not like it's a table or a hamper or something. These are things that are collectible-ish in nature, and you don't want them to just get thrown into the garbage and maybe end up with someone who would really appreciate them.
So Nick had mentioned the archive auction in Lansdale, and Matt Tank Brocklehurst reached out to me. He's the lead auctioneer.
What a great name.
That is a great name, isn't it? And I'm going to go by and see him after the show today. I'm going to bring my stuff by and have him take a look and assess it and see if it's something that he's interested in maybe helping me out with.
Nice.
So since it's in my car, because I'm heading over there after work, I figured I'd bring some of these things in and show you guys. I feel like we're set up at
QVC.
What was the
Roadshow?
Roadshow,
Antique Roadshow.
Antique Roadshow. I've got a few of these things set up in here. In fact, Marissa, can you bring the blue tub over as well? Because that's got the bigger items in it.
Are you selling that as well?
Yeah.
tub?
So not the tub, but I wanted to show you guys. I sent you guys pictures on our chain.
And this is
text chain last night. That the premier piece that I have, I think anyway, was this collectible promotional item from Toy Story 2. Which, by the way, Nick, can you see what year Toy Story 2 came out? I want to see
99.
It came out in 1999.
I recall
So
it
for
click.
over 25 years, I've had this in a box.
Yeah.
I've had it in a container doing nothing.
And it's in mint condition.
So I'll describe what I have here. It's a large cardboard. It looks like a barn. It says McDonald's on it because these were from the McDonald's collection of Toy Story 2 Happy Meal toys. And it says McDonald's, Disney, Pixar, Toy Story 2, and it's got a picture of Buzz and Woody on it. And the box is made of cardboard, and it looks like a barn, and it's held together with Velcro. And when you open it up, the inside of this has all of the toys that McDonald's offered for the Happy Meal. Now,
you can see this on YouTube.
If our camera can pick up on this.
Can you hold it up a bit, Preston?
Yeah, I will.
Look at that. Yeah. I mean, those, cool. And they're all in their proper spots. Wow. Looks like everything. You don't play with these, so
never taken them out. They've never been played with.
Yeah, they still have the the zip tie holding them in.
Yep. So on a collector's level, from what I've learned, the fact that you have the original box, everything is in mint condition. You kept it stored. I mean, that's great. I mean, that looks brand friggin' new.
Steve, you referenced this yesterday, but it is like 40-year-old virgin. Like,
yes.
Never been taken out of the box.
Exactly.
And probably worth more as a result. And Preston, when you sent the pictures yesterday, I did not realize how large this was.
Yeah, I knew by describing it. I've described it to people before, and they're just kind of like, "Oh, that's kind of."
Yeah, well, why don't you start talking?
I'm like, you need to see it.
Yeah.
To understand how really cool it is.
And good on you for not allowing the kids to go in and raid this thing as well.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I'm like, I'm going to hang on to that.
Yeah.
But I've held on to it, and so now it's and I need room in the house. And
so on an appraising level, there was one I guess on eBay that looked like it's not as in good a shape as this. It was going for around $350.
Well, Kathy sent that over. It did describe it. It said it's in mint condition.
This looks mintier.
By the way, my favorite piece in this, my favorite one of the toys, is there's Woody here. And it's for, if you remember in Toy Story 2, they showed the old Woody TV show
when
he was a marionette, and it was in black and white.
Oh, my God, that's what it is?
And so this is all gray.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
it's got the
strings and everything, man.
It's so cool.
That is really. If you're a Toy Story fan, what would you expect to pay for this amazing package?
Well, Kathy sent me that eBay listing, and it was going for $350.
I got to imagine you can get more for that.
Yeah,
And there
know.
were a couple of them. They were all going for in that price range. I saw anywhere between $330 and like $360.
Okay,
$100,000.
So $100,000 is the starting price on this. So I have this, and then there's another one. Case, if you don't mind, just be careful with it.
That's mine.
This one is from the movie, which didn't do as well, Atlantis. From Disney.
The Lost Empire.
Yep. And so this looks like some type of a book, which I assume was essential in the story. And it looks like a very large, really large book that's clasped. And then you open it up, and same thing. All the toys are in there.
Wow. It looks really cool.
In prime condition.
Again, in prime condition. The box is in good shape.
Yep.
And you were storing this in the same tub?
Yep.
So, Preston, I have, though I'm keeping it, from John Wick 3 Parabellum. They sent a promotional book. Like in there's a scene in the beginning where he goes into a library and he opens up a book, and there are things contained within the book. He usually later uses that same book to kill someone. But these are not things you could purchase. They were promotional.
And then I have a few of these. These are also from Disney and Pixar, and I have them for, let me see, I have
look at that.
Finding Nemo, Aladdin, The Incredibles. I'll show you that one, which is really cool. And so you open this up, this beautiful envelope, which has a picture of Dory and Nemo on the front, and then you open it up, and it's got a frameable print.
What would you expect to pay for that?
From the film. These, I don't know, and there's several different prints in each one of these. So, I assume for a collector, this could be a pretty cool thing.
There's some at the back here.
It's a copy of Straight Stumpin'.
No.
Wait, Preston, remind me, how did you end up having these in the first place?
I think they were sent to me.
Okay.
I think they were sent to me as a radio personality.
Yeah.
These are promotional items. I don't know what the rules are on selling promotional items.
At
but
this point, I think you're clear.
I think so.
But I was just curious about, especially the McDonald's ones. Like, did McDonald's sell those initially? Could you buy those through the store?
You could probably sell the separate pieces.
In reading a listing that Kathy had sent us on eBay about it, it said that these were, number one, it says super rare, and it says made as promotional items that were sent to, and you know what, I need to, because this is a bit of an ego stroke. I need to read exactly what it says on here because you guys will like this.
Sent to the bestest broadcasters in the world?
Kind of like that.
Dear Preston.
Yeah. No, it says...
Get one to Kenny Knight right now.
It says it was given out to A-level press. To promote the film story, to promote the film Toy Story when it came out in the late 1990s, not ever available to the general public for purchase. And so, yeah. It says only maybe 100 or so made.
Which is for as prominent. So I have at home, again, and I'm keeping it, Preston, another promotional item they sent here for me. And that was the Ted, from Ted 2.
Oh, yeah.
So it was Ted, and says about 60 incredibly offensive things. That is awesome. But you can't find it that way.
It's the
Ted doll, the Ted stuffed animal, and you push his hand and he says horrific things.
Here is one from The Incredibles. I'll show you guys this with the. This is the folder, and then the inside is
it's great.
Picture of Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl, and then inside you've got these awesome, beautiful prints.
Those are great
of the family and.
What would you expect to pay for that?
I know. I don't know.
There was a point in time where autographed memorabilia ended up making it more valuable, and then there was a stretch where it actually brought the value down. I'm curious as to if you got Michael Giacchino to sign the Incredibles one, would that actually up the value or not?
It would. So now the autograph thing is up. The win-win, Nick, is a picture of them autographing it as well.
Right. Okay.
You know what else I have? And I didn't bring it in, and I haven't decided if I want to sell it or not. I have a Willie Mays autographed bat.
I would not. I mean, I honestly
But what am I ever going to do with it?
Well,
play baseball?
Give it to your kids. If that when they pass away, which Willie passed away last year, it really they end up being priceless because obviously nothing is ever going to be signed again by that person. So,
do it. But also do a quick check on a Willie Mays autograph bat.
A lot of it depends on the context.
Right. Was it from an autograph show or something like
was
that?
He beating you with it?
I was not I I wasn't a big Giants fan. I'm not, you know, I do appreciate that he's one of the all-time greats to ever play the game, but I'm not a huge baseball fan. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I hate the fact that it's just kind of, it's not being viewed. It's collecting dust.
Right.
Geddy Lee, finally, he took all of his, from the Negro Leagues. He had all these amazing baseballs. In fact, he ended up selling a lot of his collection. He had loads and loads. And he gave this collection of like 2,000 autographed baseballs to the Negro League Hall
of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And because he was like, people need to appreciate this.
Could you hang?
I don't know.
Is there a way that you could hang the Willie Mays bat out of a second-story window at your house so people could see it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It looks like it's only worth a couple hundred right now.
A Willie Mays
Willie
bat?
Mays
Okay.
It also depends on how much signing was done and how much of that stuff is
I think
out
he did
there.
a fair amount towards the end.
It depends on if it was game used, and that usually comes with...
And how Willie is spelled.
No, that usually comes with a certificate. So if you don't have the certificate, then you can't say it's used in a game.
I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Casey, I know you did, but there was an Eagles game a couple weeks ago where the backup quarterback threw a touchdown pass, and then A.J. Brown caught the pass, threw it into the stands, and a dude caught it. It was the first time that the backup, Kenny Pickett, had ever thrown a touchdown pass. So A.J. Brown takes the ball.
It was Tanner McKee.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're right. And anyway, so A.J. Brown threw it in the stands, and it was Tanner McKee's first ever touchdown pass. And A.J. was like, oh, my God, what did I just do? So Big Dom from security, like they ended up contacted the fan. He brought it back down. It was a really noble gesture of the fan to do it. They got the ball back to A.J., and then A.J. gave it to Tanner McKee, which was a really cool thing. After the game was over, A.J. Brown goes back over to that fan, takes his jersey off, the game-worn jersey that he's literally wearing, and then he signed it and gave it to the fan. And I was like,
that's
first
cool.
of all, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Second of all, like, that's being taken off on television and then signed and given to that fan. So that's got to be worth a lot of money.
Yeah, because you'll have photographic evidence to go along with that,
And
to
a
put
story.
next to it,
Yeah.
and you to frame it.
The
and then you put
story is
that with it.
also
Yeah.
story also figures in prominently to the value of something.
It's also a Kelly Green, so they only wore the Kelly Green twice that season.
Yeah, game-worn
You're
Kelly
talking
Green.
about it now? The audio of you talking about it now?
Yeah, there's audio that will be connected
Nick
to that
talking
now.
about it?
Yeah.
I'm upping the value.
Yeah. Hey,
Me
Preston.
saying what I just said up.
Oddly enough, as I'm going to talk to Tank, the auction guy, I'm like, so maybe a few extra bucks because Preston Elliott owned this, you know?
And he goes, and why would that be?
and why?
These cups that you have right here.
All right.
What would you expect to pay for those cups?
The box that they came in, is that the only box of these cups that you have?
No, there are 3 boxes.
Okay,
All right,
because
so what
What are
Casey's
these?
referring
Can we
to,
see?
these are Kentucky Derby glasses. I'll explain in a moment.
and
I didn't know they raced as well.
the box that you have, there's 1 year that's missing that is a significant year that I hang on to for.
I don't have any 1973 ones. Is that the one?
Yeah.
I looked for them last night. 1973 is when Secretariat won the Triple Crown.
Why did you miss that year?
I don't know. So my parents collected these, and my dad gave me these several years ago. He's like, "Do with them what you will." He's like, they've been sitting in a box. I'm not. And he's like, if you want to display them, if you want to sell them, whatever you want to do,
If you want to throw them off the roof at
I
work.
think somebody pilfered the 73 ones.
And they have sat in boxes for years now. And I'm like, you know what? I don't. It's not part of our decor. I'm going to save 1 or 2 to keep as an as just a sentimental value. But I have like, I don't know, 60 of these things.
You want to do something fun?
What?
I'll pitch these at you and you use the Willie Mays bat.
I love that.
Wouldn't that be great?
Can we see? Hold
All
on.
right, I'm going to show these to you. So this one's from 1971. It says Churchill Downs on it, and it says Kentucky Derby 1971 with a picture of Churchill Downs and horses on the bottom, and then on the back it's got the list of every single race since 1875 and the winner of that race. And if they won the Triple Crown or anything else, it's got a little crown that is next to the name if they were a
It says
Triple
right there,
Crown.
only to be given to A-level radio personalities.
So these you can order and have like I guess my parents, that's how they did it, but like this one's from 1979. I have a whole lot of the ones from 1979. Some of the artwork is gorgeous on these.
It seems to me you could use those to drink liquid.
I think you can. I haven't tried it yet. This one's from 1976, so
nice
bicentennial,
right there.
which is cool. Little stars and stripes on the bottom, and then an eagle kind of embossed within the names. This one I always like. This one. This was from 1978. I just remember we had a bunch of these, and actually we used a lot of these for drinking glasses.
So how many do you have all
I probably
told?
got 50 or 60.
50 or 60.
Yeah,
and so
more.
did you do any due diligence on these to see
I
what
just
they...
looked last night at some, and they can go anywhere from $8 to $20, maybe less than that too. Maybe some sell for like
each?
$5. Yeah,
Okay.
each. Yeah, so I've got a bunch of those, and
$8 to $20 for all.
I have no idea if Tank will be interested in if there's a market for these to be auctioned off or how they handle it.
What's the one behind?
Now this is one of the
prized possession.
This is one of my Budweiser holiday steins.
Drinking
So,
stein?
My in-laws for 25 years bought me these for Christmas every year, and again, they have sat in a box. They have done nothing.
You didn't display them?
I took a couple out, and we have some friends from St. Louis. So
Yeah.
this is Budweiser, which is rooted. It's based in
Right.
St. Louis. Its headquarters. And so my St. Louis buddies and I, we all grabbed one mug that is our mug.
Okay.
And I have them at my house, and whenever they come over, we'll drink out of the mugs.
Okay.
That's the Clydesdales.
Yeah, so all of them have Clydesdales on them. They're beautiful.
Created a monster, and they call him
Preston Stein. So I have no idea if there's a market for these or not. I know that.
So is this like the Marlboro had their stuff, and this was their?
Well, I don't know if it was like that, but yes, this is part of the merch, and I know that there's one very valuable one. It's the Budman. From the maybe early 1980s, and that one's a few $100.
Wow,
maybe even more than that.
Is Budman like Duffman from The Simpsons?
Supposed to be.
Okay.
Maybe that's where they got Duffman from. But yeah, here we're looking at it now.
Oh, wow.
That's funny.
You don't
300,
have
yeah.
that, do you?
No, I don't have that one.
There's always a market for all of it, and I'm just like, I'm sure when you go to the auction house, Preston, like they'll tell you. I guess part of what his job is to find that market and to know where to sell these types of things. But I'm like, somebody texted in from Florida this morning, and they're like, "Hey, if you brought that Disney stuff down here, there'd be people going to Disney who would want to buy any of those things. And if you took the Willie Mays bat to a Giants game or something like that, you would find a buyer. So I'm just curious as to like where and how you find those buyers and make the most money off of it.
I think. I think people weigh the man hours invested in getting something sold with the like. You don't want to do. I mean, who's going to do that?
The auction house guy is.
Yeah, he'll go do that.
That's the thing is he knows what he's doing, so you don't have to worry about that stuff, Nick.
Tank will do it.
Yeah, so like I said,
Hi, my name is Tank. What?
The opposite of his
Such a
nickname.
huge guy.
No, but that's why I brought it up yesterday. I'm like, okay, I've been thinking for years about selling some of this stuff, but going about it and doing the eBay route is I just know I would mess it up, and I don't want to mess this up.
I don't think you would mess
mean?
it up, but I think what would happen is you would not be quite sure that you had maximized your efforts for the return. And I think that's part of it.
Well, that too, and that's what I want to ask him about is auction this locally or put it up online and auction it nationally, globally. Maybe is that a better way?
Interplanetary?
Galactic. No. But maybe that's a better way to get a more promising potential yield.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The one thing that you found out, Kathy, you would know this because you dabble in this sort of stuff. You have something somewhere, someone is very likely interested in buying it, if it's on this level.
Yeah.
I mean, especially what used to be the case is it was hard to get word out to people to let them know that this stuff was available or these collectibles were available.
Yeah.
But now, again, so many of the people that do, and I'll mention it for the 1400th time, the Collector's Corner on that show, they're simply going online and hunting down these things.
Yeah.
And it need not be eBay. They just find a connection to, like this gentleman you're going to today who handles this stuff, and they say, find me this thing, this collectible.
Is that your favorite show in this genre, Steve?
There used to be one on Sci-Fi Channel, which was all movie props and things that were similar to folks.
Okay.
But now, by sheer default, Collector's Corner ends up being more movie, TV, pop culture memorabilia.
I like Antiques Roadshow because sometimes they'll end up with a copy of the Declaration of Independence or whatever, and it's priceless. And then other times it's like a copy of a copy of a copy that's worth nothing.
Yeah.
And the people that bring them there, they just have no idea what the value
or
is.
the porn stars had a similar vibe.
I was watching a Antiques Roadshow clip the other day on Instagram, Nick, and I don't know if this was an account and they do this regularly or not, but there was a woman who had She had said it was a slave bracelet from the days of slavery.
Wow.
That would fit onto the slave. This is what she, assumed this was, and that the name and everything was on there. And these are records of this person, was in this horrible predicament. And the appraiser's looking at him and says, okay, because they ask you, what do you think?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, this is a dog collar.
Oh, my God.
And the look at her face is like, you've got to be kidding me. Like it was family lore that they had held on to this for however many years, that it was a slave bracelet to.
No,
it's a dog collar.
This says Paul McCartney.
But that's got to happen all the time.
Yes.
All the time.
Well,
on that show.
the ones that always get the press, though, are you walk in with a vase and it turns out to be a Ming vase.
Man, whenever, or they bring in a sword.
Yeah.
So the swords will be like, yeah, okay, this is General Custard used this. And they're like,
No,
oh
this
my
was
God.
used at the Custard House.
I ended up, so my wife's favorite book of all time is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. So years ago, I ended up getting her first edition copy. And the difference in price, between... I wanted to get her one that was actually in really, really good condition. But the difference in price between one that actually had the sleeve on it and one that didn't have the sleeve on it was, we're talking thousands of dollars.
Really?
Yeah.
So what would the real deal, everything intact?
I think what I got her was somewhere between $200 and $300.
Right.
And so this is for the original. But the one with the sleeve in it, if you wanted the first edition, she would have been mad.
Yes,
if I would have gotten that for her. Steve, went for your birthday years ago when you turned, it was a big round number.
Yes.
I ended up getting you the Batman comic that came out the month
And
that
I
you
still
were
have
born.
it, yes.
And I was so grateful. Because it was decent, it was in really, really good condition, but it wasn't that great of it
wasn't a great issue.
Great issue.
Yeah.
So it really didn't cost me that much money.
It was actually Batman was going shopping in that one.
Essentially, that's
Old
what it
chum,
was.
don't forget to grab the bread.
There was something else that I have in my possession that was not mine. I was just talking about it with a college friend over the break because I ended up taking it home after I graduated college. My friend's bed sheet from his childhood, and so I had this in my possession, and at that I was talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and I called it Stolen Valor because it doesn't belong to me. It wasn't mine, but it's the original Star Wars A New Hope bedsheet from 1977.
What kind of condition is it in?
I've only peed on it a few times. I washed it right out, but
seasoned.
If you will.
Flavored.
But I have to give it back to him. It's not mine. And I would never sell it. That would never be anything.
This is all your semen.
Oh, God. Here's the black light.
Wow. Nick,
what are those cool laser blasts? No, that's semen.
Nick just pulled up the Wikipedia page for Tree Grows in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know there were 5 books. It's a series.
Oh, I didn't know
There
that
was a
either.
sapling grows in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
A tree.
All I know about A Tree Grows in Brooklyn is there was
Bugs Bunny?
Yes, that's it. That's all I know about it.
He's being attacked by dogs in an alleyway. He picks up a book and holds it up, and then all the dogs go running because that's the tree they're going to go piss on.
Yep. All right. Well, anyhow, I'll give you guys an update on
I'd be
what
curious.
happens with this stuff.
And, so you're meeting with Tank today?
I am. Yep. Right after the show.
I wonder if there's anything that I have. I the stuff that I collect is at a certain point. I'm going to make, and I've made way for other things. And I tend to give stuff away.
Okay, I was going to ask what you do with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the same modus operandi is involved. I want someone who's going to appreciate it, to have it, and that they can carry that joy and display it or whatever. I had a Superman statue in my office.
Oh,
I
yeah,
gave it to
you did?
Rodney because he's our Superman, and he has it displayed in his office.
Awesome. Excellent. All right. Well, anyhow, hope you've enjoyed Show and Tell
I
this
liked
morning.
it.
If you want to see any of this stuff, you can watch our YouTube channel. And yes.
Speaking of numbers and YouTube and Instagram and all that kind of stuff, we are now over 99,000.
Hey!
So I am hoping maybe by the end of the week we can reach 100K.
That'd be nice. We're at 99.1. Did we just get 1,000?
We just got like a couple hundred, 200.
I tell you
That's
what,
awesome.
let's see if we can devise and completely whore it out. What can we do to completely whore ourselves out to get to 100,000 by the end of the week?
Kathy
will fart on the
I
air.
was like, what?
Kathy will light
No,
a fire.
I'll do feet stuff.
I was going to say the feet thing.
Yeah.
You'll do feet stuff?
Yeah, I'll do feet stuff.
I tell you what.
Okay.
Kathy will put a lit match between her toes and light one of Casey's feet.
Okay.
All right. We got it.
You agree?
She hasn't said no.
No.
But well, no.
All right, fine.
That's
I
no
will put a
one's
lip match
into
between
that.
my toes and like Kathy's fart.
Okay.
Yeah, here
but
it is.
But you'll do foot.
Yeah, I'm on a pedicure break though. I usually give my nails time to breathe in the winter, so I'll have to get a pedicure because nobody wants to.
Okay, but still, you'll
Yeah,
agree to
okay.
do it.
Yeah, I'll do feet stuff.
I thought you were footy foot.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll do feet stuff under my foot handle.
Okay. So we need to hit it by the end of the week in order for you to do this?
I mean, we're less than 900 away. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's doable. And, I mean, Kathy's feet, that's incentive enough.
Come on, man. Follow us on Instagram. Preston and Steve Show is where you'll find that, at Preston and Steve Show.
Can we
Even
tease
I
it?
actually like it.
Can we tease it with, like, a picture, Kath?
No. I
Like
got
just
all
your
the pedicure.
ankle?
Oh, you caught me with my Tootsies out.
No, you can take a picture of my shoe. Yeah.
All right.
Tease it with my shoe.
Imagine this naked.
Coming soon. Yes, you will.
Oh wait. Okay. So you're saying if we get to that number, I got to do feet stuff.
Yeah.
I was saying, do feet stuff to get us to that
No,
number. I see what you're saying.
That's
Okay.
the reward.
Oh no, I'm out then.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah,
What are you talking about? Yeah, she's in. She's in.
Come on.
I
That's
want
how porn works.
I want to take a break. We'll come back in a second. We will get to some bizarre file stories. So stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
Helmet.
With his own children.
We're gonna call you Helmet. I'm got a helmet on because I like to roller skate. Daddy-daughter night. Wait a second, you have children? Dear God.
Dear God.
I just, you
feel safer.
I feel safer. I don't.
I ride a helmet when I ride a bike. Or wear a helmet.
I ride a helmet when I wear a bike.
It doesn't go very fast. But it's totally safe.
Look at this idiot. The other way around. Put the helmet on and ride the bike.
What you riding there?
It's an inspiring story, huh?
Inspiring story of a child who sought to be different. I'm gonna ride my helmet and wear a bike. You're gonna look like a jerk. Yeah, you're gonna look like an idiot.
I don't care.
Hello, this is the Olympic Committee. We're interested in this new sport you've come up with.
Yes, it's time to find out who the biggest dick in the Delaware Valley is. We actually, you know what? Hats off to Casey Boy because it was his idea and to search for the biggest dick in the Delaware Valley. And it's just you're given this name at birth, Richard, and either your parents. Either they thought it would be funny or they don't realize or, you know what I mean?
I want to find out the reasons because I do agree. And listen, technically it's a fine name. However, I know parents go through the arduous process of, okay, what are kids going to do with this?
Right.
What are they going to do with this? And Richard obviously will become Dick.
So you ready, Dr. Mike?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's bring in the dicks. We're going to start with, we're going to go with the longest first. Dear God.
Yes, now we're talking.
He is huge. All right, so we've kept these guys separated. Do you still get Snickers at your name?
My freshman year in college, we were getting drunk, coming down the steps, and some guy was coming up with his girlfriend. So he yells with his girlfriend, he goes, "Yo, big dick." I never heard it before. I grabbed him, threw him up against the railing, and I said, "Yo, I thought I told you not to tell nobody."
That's good. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Dick is here for the length, the height version. So we're going to measure your height. How tall does that thing go, Dr. Mike? Over 7 feet? All right, let's bring in the next Dick. We have a very big Dick coming in here.
Yes.
This is Dick Super. Dick Super.
Yes.
How you doing, man?
Super Dick in the house.
Nice. See, I told you guys I had a friend named in high school. His name was Dave Super. His dad's name was Dick.
Oh, you're right. That is actually a great name.
Come on, Super. I mean, it's been the best.
It could be great for you.
Where are you from, by the way?
South Jersey.
So let's measure you, and let's see how you stack up against the other Dick. You're going to get some extra because of that hair of yours.
Yeah.
He's a hairy Dick.
Well,
man.
the level will come down right on the...
These sticks are so long, I have to get on a stool.
I noticed.
It's unbelievable.
I'll tell you what, this might be the best looking dick we have in the studio all day.
It's a good looking Dick.
Yeah.
Marissa, bring in the next Dick, please. This is Dick Steinbeiser.
Dick Steinbeiser.
And it's another biggie, man. Where are you from, sir?
Harleysville.
You haven't seen this guy around town?
I haven't seen that dick anywhere. Not anywhere in Harleysville. And there's a lot of dicks in Harleysville.
There are.
Let's get the official number. We're gonna measure you, but we will not reveal. We're not going to reveal what that is until we get all 5 of you measured. So right now we're going for the length.
This dick has a shaved head, basically. So the
bald dick. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, thank you very much, Richard. We appreciate you can have a seat over here, and we'll get the final results in a moment. Richard or Dick Steinbeiser.
It's a smart dick.
And after Kathy's getting in on it.
See, the one who hates this stuff is now participating.
Please, this is Dick Scholl.
Wow, another.
Yeah, another big one.
Yes.
So we've been asking some questions amongst you dicks. Does anybody ever call you Dick, or have they throughout your life?
My older brother kept trying to get my oldest nephew to call me Uncle Dick for the first years of my life. That didn't happen, but what did happen, fortunately for him, is that my nephew couldn't pronounce rich, and it came out with a B sound.
He called you bitch?
Yep.
Wow.
That was Uncle
All right, Dick, let's get you on the measuring device here. All right. And we'll get the official number.
All right, this one went a little faster than the last few measurements. Mike got this one down fast.
Yeah, quick, Dick.
Bring in the final Dick, please.
Another biggie.
Wow. Tell us about your life with the name Richard and being interchangeable with Dick.
It is pretty lackluster, I would probably say. I only really got it in high school. You know, kids on like my sports teams would be like, "Oh, we call you Big Dick now." And
Big Dick's actually, if you're on a team,
right?
It's pretty cool.
It's intimidating, and it's got a little,
It's got a little panache to it.
Absolutely.
I like it. All right, well, let's get you up on the measuring device and let's take a look. By the way, I love all our dicks.
They're
They're
excellent.
all great guys.
You guys a big Foo Fighters fans? Got a Foo Fighters shirt on? I'm enjoying the Dick Dale.
Thank you, Dick Dale, and we played Moby Dick, and Dr. Mike just
nearly
fell
bought it.
off the chair. Are you okay, Dr. Mike?
Noted TV personality Dr. Mike died in a bizarre dick measuring accident.
Tell you, Preston, in 25 years of practice, these are some of the biggest dicks I've ever seen.
Of course. You're a medical man. You're a man of science.
It's a miracle of nature.
Yes.
All right, so please, if you could, first give us the number and the name of who our biggest dick in the Delaware Valley is, Nick.
At a whopping 82.5 inches, that's 6 feet, 10.5 inches tall, the biggest dick in the Delaware Valley by length, our first dick in the studio, Dick Barrett, everybody! Congratulations, Dick!
Come on over here, Dick Barrett.
Get over there. Come on.
6'10" and a half.
Big old dick.
Nick, did you say 6'10" and a half?
I sure did, Preston.
Damn, man.
Almost 7 feet tall.
The moment when you walked in, I'm like, that's a huge dick.
But yet, when the other guys are coming in, I'm like, I'm wondering. I'll be curious to hear the other numbers. But yeah, you are a big dick.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, so we got length out of the way. Time to get to girth. Let's bring in the biggies. We're going to do our first contestant for the biggest dick in the Delaware Valley. Please welcome Dick Zaleski.
Dick Zaleski. Dick, how are you?
You know, your history with the name, and a lot of guys got it in high school.
I had like one guy that thought he was funny in high school that would be like, Rick the Dick.
Yeah.
But I actually got it from my friends later on that I'm kind of a jerk sometimes.
Okay, so you're sort of a
they'd
cut
be
up.
like Rick the Dick, and so
Dick Zaleski, let's get you on the scale here. We're not going to reveal the number at all until we have weighed everyone, and then we will find out who the biggest dick in the Delaware Valley is by girth. By the way, yes, everyone will be even if your name is Rick, you're going by Dick today.
That's fine.
All right, thanks, man. Have a seat. We'll find out how you do. Thanks for being
Big
here
guy.
this morning. Bring in our next Dick. This is Dick L. Coogan.
Yes.
Who we welcome. Coming over here to Nick. Has Dick been a joke from time to time for you, or do people actually call you that?
No, I basically come from a long line of dicks.
Oh, you do?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you Dick? Are you Little Dick or Dick Jr.?
I'm Dick the Third, actually.
Dick the Third.
Yeah, so my grandfather, my father, my son.
All right, well, let's have you jump on the scale here. Dr. Mike is going to do the official measuring.
While we have a second, I'd like to apologize to the two Dick Siemens who wanted to come in because they really wanted to be a part of this contest.
Yeah.
But we had enough dicks, and these guys just didn't qualify to be the biggest dicks in the Delaware Valley. But thank you guys guys for submitting.
We had to cut.
It was father and son named Dick Seaman.
Thank you for coming in this morning. We'll find out if you end up being our winner. As he grabs a seat, that's Dick L. Coogan, by the way. The next Dick, let's welcome Dick Mayberry to the studio. Mr. Mayberry is coming over here. Is there any history of Dicks in your family?
Yeah, I'm the third.
Okay.
My grandfather went by Dick.
Do you get any? Dicks on the dance floor. As far as Mayberry, your last name, you get any Andy Griffith throwbacks from that?
No, Dick Maybe Harry. I have.
Dick Maybe Harry.
I like it. Get on the scale, man. Let's see what you come in at. Dick Mayberry. All right.
I want 6 dicks, man.
I was saying sticks.
Sure you were.
Sticks. Let's bring in the next Dick. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dick Schmidt. And we welcome him. Any other Dicks in your family?
My father. My father was another big. He was another big Dick.
Another big Dick. Thank you, Kathy. We will delve into the world of the bizarre right now.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, let us begin with this story. When you catch the wrong animal in a trap, you probably don't immediately start trying to remember your CPR training, but that's exactly what a Minnesota trapper did. The man had put out a trap to catch a bobcat, and when he checked it, he instead found what's called a pine marten.
A pine marten?
Which is also a type of a wild feline.
Okay.
It was out of season and therefore illegal. So the hunter called a conservation officer and told him he thought that it was dead. And then he said he had seen its eyes move and hung up. The officer called the man back a few minutes later, and the hunter told him that he had revived the animal by putting his lips on the nose of the pine marten and blew air into it.
So that's how firefighters will resuscitate pets when they arrive at a scene.
Yep. So the officer went out, found the man with the very angry marten in his vehicle.
You dick.
And helped him release it back into the wild.
They're kind of cute.
They are. But pine martens are about cat size. They are carnivorous. So the fact that this guy went in with his mouth over the nose put him in a little bit of risk as well, because the thing could have bit him immediately. But he did the right.
I am not into this.
He did the right thing. Normally, I assume he would just trap and kill this thing, but not when it's out of season. But he let this guy go. Eventually, he got away. In fact, I have another story of felines being saved. Let me see if I'll put that one in next. Hang on a second here, because I got a whole bunch of things. I thought I had
another pine marten?
Not a pine marten, but it was a bobcat. It was a wildcat. And bobcats and wildcats are the same thing, by the way. Yeah, here it is. This is in Kansas. A lineman and his crew were in for a surprise on Sunday. Jaylyn Urban says that her husband, Dominic, works as a lineman and was faced with an unusual challenge.
He works for a lineman. Wait, for who?
He's for the county.
Okay.
Yes.
This is in Kansas, by the way.
So Urban, working alongside Eric Hartwell, were working on restoring power when the two were given a new task, and that was the fact that 2 bobcats needed rescuing from a nearby power pole. And I mean, they were at the top of this power pole.
So they got up there and couldn't figure out how to get down?
No, they were frozen to it.
Oh. Wow.
They had frozen to it.
So they had been double dog dared.
The high temperature on Sunday was 16 degrees, and the wind chill was -5. So Urban said the mother was froze down to the top of the pole, so I had to make a snare out of a piece of pipe and some rope to hold her down while I beat the ice loose that lowered her down to the ground.
I have to beat this thing off.
And I had to do the same with the kitten. The whole rescue took about 2 hours.
Jeez.
Urban said it took longer to avert the power so that they didn't, quote, fry everyone and lose electricity for everyone. And both mom and kitten were lowered safely. He said the mom was rescued first and ran off. The kitten was rescued right afterwards and ran in the same direction as the mom.
It's amazing, and kudos for them for taking the time to do that.
Yeah.
But they could have died.
Yep. On New Year's Eve, a person driving around Vancouver Beach, British Columbia, called in a report to police about another driver they suspected was impaired. That driver had pulled over the other driver to prevent them from continuing on the road and potentially endangering other lives. But there was a problem. When police arrived, they found the driver who had called in the report also had signs of alcohol consumption. The first driver was confirmed to be sober, but just was having trouble driving in the dark. So the person who called in the report was hit with a 90-day driving suspension and a 30-day vehicle impoundment because they were drunk and the other person was not.
Come on, people.
Yeah. He was trying to do the right thing.
And he's calling out a guy who is not drunk at all.
That is correct.
What was the guy yesterday? Was the DUI, the designated DUI?
Yeah,
DUI. Hey, they should have had a DUI.
All right, listen to this woman's predicament, and I want to see which way you guys side. So on Reddit, a woman is wondering how much of an a-hole she is because there's a Reddit subreddit that's called Am I the A-hole? And this is because she had rejected her boyfriend's proposal privately after accepting it publicly. So this happened at a party to celebrate his dad's 60th birthday. And it seems the boyfriend thought that it would be a fine idea to make his father's big day all about him and propose in front of everyone. She says that she had been clear in the past that she was not ready for marriage, but he had proposed anyway, not wanting to humiliate him at this event with his family members.
Which is considerate,
She said yes at the party, but then she tried to let him down easy when it was one-on-one.
I've been sleeping with your dad.
No, I don't know about that. With all the pictures on social media of him on one knee and his dad looking so happy, she's now wondering if she did the right thing or not. What do you guys say?
No, she did the right thing. If she doesn't want to marry him, and then she also tried to save face a little bit for him, and later on said, "Listen, no, I think that's fine." You don't marry someone because, well, you know.
Well, and she had told him she wasn't interested in marriage.
Yeah.
So is the argument against her that she said yes in the first place?
Yeah.
That she took the move to sort of protect his feelings, but I mean,
I get that. I'm just saying, like, why would anybody call her an a-hole?
Because you shouldn't get the guy's hopes up like that. Like all of a sudden she said yes, and he's thinking, yes, it worked. That's it. It's
right.
you know, and so that is kind of a dick move, but doing it so that he's not embarrassed in front of everybody else. That would
Congratulations, son. I've tried her out. She's awesome.
So if she would have said no in front of his family, he would have been mortified, you know, but now he's mortified in a different way. So, all right. Anyway, a massive alligator was spotted by a tour group dragging a huge snake through a murky Florida waterway in a terrifying sight.
You look at this picture. I saw this picture, and I'm like, man, nature is so effing brutal.
Everglades National Park tour guide Kelly Alvarez filmed the incredible moment which showed the alligator nicknamed Godzilla swimming along the dead Burmese python in its maw. The tour guide was giving her regular tour through the Florida National Park, the largest subtropical wilderness in the States, when the group spotted the chilling sight. Alvarez, who said seeing alligators demolish pythons is nothing strange, but she said it's the first time she's seen a python that big become lunch. She said, I've seen many alligators eating pythons out here. Never, ever, ever seen a python that large with an alligator.
So in the battle, when they go up against each other, it's usually the alligator that's going to dominate that battle?
I think so, yeah, in that environment. So she said, I thought it was a log floating on the surface of the water or something like that. Then I noticed the alligator moving it. The guide recognized the 10 to 12 foot long reptile as Godzilla, who's often spotted sunbathing near the tower, and was freaked out to see the beast swimming alongside with a massive python that appeared to be almost twice Godzilla's length in its mouth. So it was almost a 20-footer. Adding to the grimness of the scene, Alvarez noted the bloated snake had its ends missing as well. But it's pretty wild looking. Yeah, the picture of it. And that is what I have in the bizarre file for you for now. All right, we will break and come back in a second. When we return, music news, trash. We'll also have a lesson question, and we'll see if you've been paying attention, and we got a prize associated with that. We'll return shortly. Stay with us.
Same size as me.
All right, so we are doing the official measuring. Dr. Mike's going to get his number. He's waiting for the scale to settle. And when he settles on a number, he's got it. You can step back off of there, Dick. And let me see. Who else we have?
Take a look at my face, Dick.
Well, let's bring in Dick Belcastro. Dick that we have. Come right over here to Nick, if you would, please. Anybody in your family call you Dick?
Not generally, no. My granddad went by Dick.
Okay.
Dad was Richard. I'm Richard. My brother's Peter.
Peter. There's clearly something going on.
Let's get you on the scale. Let's weigh you. Turn around. Dr. Micah's going to get a number.
Here we are. Step up.
All right. So how we doing,
Nick?
We've crunched the numbers over here in the entertainment division, and
you can announce our winner. Nick, give us the number and then our winner, if you would, please, for the biggest girth amongst our dicks.
Biggest dick in the Delaware Valley girth division goes to dick number 2, Richard Zaleski.
Oh, you're kidding me!
The biggest dick. 397.6 pounds.
397.
Nearly 400 pounds a dick.
Actually, he was dick number 1 I have here on our list, which means both of our first dicks are our winners. Richard Zaleski, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. He was number 2 on my list, number 1 in the contest.
And
You're right,
number
Preston.
1 in your hearts,
Absolutely.
ladies and gentlemen. Dick Zaleski!
Yeah!
Police said 2 drivers on 95 were involved in a road rage incident that ended in gunfire Monday evening. It happened just before 5 o'clock while the 2 cars were exiting the highway on Route 413 in Bristol Township. The victim's car had 2 bullet holes from a .45 caliber semi-automatic handgun. Police said a man pulled up to the victim's car, told him to lower the window, and when he did, the man pointed a gun into the car.
Let's go.
I bet the shooter was from Delco, though. I mean, we'll see when they get him. We'll find out. One shot pierced the right rear quarter panel of the 2011 silver Hyundai Accent. A second bullet was lodged in the top of the passenger side door, where police said the metal and rubber trim stopped the round from hitting the person in the passenger
So
seat.
it wasn't shooting at the car, shooting at the person in the car.
Police said the driver was aggressive in the moments prior to the shooting. He kept flashing his high beams, and he followed the victim off of the highway, pacing the car, and then stopped at the traffic light with the victim.
Roll down your window. I want to shoot you.
Yeah. Hey, I have a completely unrelated question, Steve, because just now when you said roll down your window, I want to shoot you, you gestured like this.
Right, yeah.
You took his index finger and did a circling motion.
Still do,
You think young people know what that means?
Probably not.
Let me go to Marissa. Hi.
All right, it's so
Does
funny.
that mean roll your window down to them?
I don't know, but last year, do you guys remember when we talked to Kate Beckinsale? This is like a total stretch. We talked to Kate Beckinsale, and it was the day that Joel Embiid had tweeted at her, like the day before.
Yeah.
Or Instagrammed at her. I pull up on like 19th and Arch, and Joel Embiid is next to me that afternoon. And I look at him, and I like go wide-eyed, and I go, oh my God, roll down your window. And I'm doing the rolling motion, and he looks at me, and he had no idea.
Well, actually, that looks a little bit like manual stimulation.
Marissa, but you had your fist like this doing that.
I'm going to take care of you sexually.
Yes.
Usually people go like this.
Right, roll down
with your
like,
index finger.
No.
It's like this.
It's like, no, not like this.
Wait, I'm sorry. It's like
That means roll your window.
Roll down your window.
Nothing to do with your mouth.
Wait, Preston. Roll down your window. Turn around and show
You'd have to be watching our studio cams right now to get it. Yeah.
Roll down your window. You guys are so inappropriate right now.
Casey's grabbing his ankles. He has his legs up in the air.
Roll down your window.
You need a whole fist to roll down the window, guys.
Roll down your
Hey, guys. Hang on a second. Let me get him.
I didn't understand. I wanted you to roll down your window.
Oh, there's a Daily Rush video right there.
Where's the dildo? You can smack that on your face. Roll down the window.
Sorry, Marissa.
So he didn't get that?
I think I eventually put down the window a little bit, and I told him to kind of give me that smile and sped away.
Cars, this, if you go like this, a button pushing thing.
Yeah, no one's going to know what that is. Roll down your window.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, all right, moving along.
Arm vaginas.
What does that mean?
Okay.
God, they finally did this.
There has been a slow but steady rise of removal surgery for arm vaginas.
So are they making arm vaginas for replacement vaginas?
No.
How exactly does this work?
This is actually armpit folds within where people have these issues, and they call it the arm vagina.
Oh, I never.
Yep.
I didn't know that's what it was called.
Yeah.
So explain them a little bit of the laws here.
It's like it's like armpit fat that hangs over when you wear like a tube top.
Oh, that looks like a
camel toe. Looks like a camel toe, right?
Just extra like fat and skin. It's not.
There are some though that happen to fall into a very vagina-esque looking flap, and those are the ones you got to correct early.
You got to get rid of that.
You got to get rid of those early. Other ones just look like, hey, they're a little roll of fat and a little, popping fresh, but you never would do that to an arm vagina.
The vagina flap. The surgeries performed vary.
It sounds like a bad 50s dance. Everybody's doing the vagina flap now. Come on, baby, do the vagina flap now. Swing your big arms like you have two vaginas.
Come on, baby, do the vagina flap now.
A little bit of lotion and he'll come right there.
Come up. Oh, we're done singing?
If you want to sing. I can't get that eye.
Yeah.
The surgeries performed vary depending on the cause and extent of an arm vagina.
When they have those drastic weight losses and people, I don't honestly know surgically how they can remove that without it killing the person. You see, like, there was one guy who had it looked like he was melting how loose his skin was. If they talk about a tummy tuck as being invasive, how the hell do you do that?
They also use mini liposuction and the removal of excess skin. They are popular non-surgical methods.
Can you do the gentleman stitch on those?
Along with injections that are claimed to break down fat.
My chick's arms are so tight. Just saying.
So that's a new one apparently out there. The arm vagina.
My chick's arms are so tight. Just saying.
So that's a new one apparently out there. The arm vagina. This could go along actually with the connoisseur, believe it or not, because this is
the custodian, the connoissorian. He eats old food. Is this fresh?
No, this is the little known history.
The little known history
of fruit roll-ups.
Oh my
roll-ups.
gosh.
Oh wow! You guys are all on board now, aren't you?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the first fruit roll-up was created by Ivan the Terrible.
No. But it's older than you think.
Is it older than Jesus?
No. The thin sheets of fruit treats known as fruit roll-ups have been a staple of supermarkets since 1983 when General Mills introduced the snack to satisfy the sweet tooth of kids everywhere. But
1983, so the Civil War had just ended.
Right. No, but the fruit roll-up has an origin that goes much further back, all the way to the turn of the 20th century, believe it or not.
Whoa.
The small community of Syrian immigrants in New York in the early 1900s didn't have the packaging or the marketing power of General Mills, but they had the novel idea of offering an apricot-sourced fruit leather that they called Emmerdine.
Did you know that Frederick Douglass invented Razzles?
No. Wow.
Razzles.
All right.
That's the candy that becomes a gum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you like Razzles?
I do. Yeah. As a kid, I used to like it. I would like, is this Razzle going to be a candy or a gum?
Yeah.
The world was at my feet.
And when it
Return to Dust on 93.3 WMMR. It's Everything That Rocks. They played that song for us at our Camp Out for Hunger, and they're going to be playing that song for you at the MM Barbecue. They're one of the bands that is on the bill, and those tickets are on sale now, and we would love to see you there in person for the event. WMMR.com has all the details, the bands, everything you need to know at this point, and just realize that we want you to be there because we know you deserve a good time. And every single year we come back with great stories from what a great time we had. So let's all join that together. WMMR.com, as I said. We're going to give away a prize for Stupid Question. We have a pair of tickets for, not Stupid Question, Lesson Question. We have a pair of tickets for Tom Segura, who is performing the Come Together Tour Saturday, January 18th at the Wells Fargo Center. And let's see. Yeah, we got to go with this. According to Kathy, what's the name of her foot fetish OnlyFans page? 215-263-WMMR. According to Kathy, what will be the name of her foot fetish only fans page?
Maybe it already exists.
Maybe. 215-263-WMMR. If you heard it and you know, call right now while you're calling. We'll do this.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, we'll go ahead and get those stories. Steve, what's going on this morning?
Well, General Hospital star Steve Burton announcing his engagement to chef Michelle Lundstrom. Burton said he followed the old adage of finding a woman who's a whore in the bedroom, but a whore in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Janet Jackson replicating the cover of her 1993 album Janet in Concert when one of her dancers reached around to cup her breasts. Because 3 decades have lapsed since that original picture was taken, the dancer had to reach around her knees. And finally, 3 Rolex watches stolen from Keanu Reeves in 2024 have been recovered in Chile. A very happy Reeves said that in a way, it took time to recover time. Whoa.
I remember that Janet Jackson cover, man. That
was very saucy.
It was super hot at the time, yes. All right, so we will see if you know the answer to the question. According to Kathy, what's the name of her foot fetish only fans page? 215-263-WMMR. We will go to Riley, see if we can get the answer. Hey, Riley, good morning. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, my fault. I didn't have this button pushed. Let's try that again. Riley, are you there?
I'm there. I'm here.
Riley, what is the name of Kathy's foot fetish only fans page?
Feety feet.
Yeah, feety feet. Hang on, Riley. We are going to give you a pair of tickets as MMR rocks Tom Segura, the Come Together Tour. This is going to be on Saturday, January 18th, Wells Fargo Center, and tickets are on sale now via Ticketmaster.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, I have 2 items to pass along to you, and that will be it. We will start with the Boston Calling Festival. That will be Memorial Day weekend in May, and they have announced a great lineup for the 3-day festival. Fall Out Boy, Dave Matthews Band, and Luke Combs are set to headline the 3 days at the Harvard Athletic Complex, May 23rd through the 25th. Plenty of great acts booked. On Saturday, joining Fall Out Boy on the lineup will be Avril Lavigne, Cage the Elephant, the Black Crows, and more.
That's a nice collective.
Solid.
So it's a 3-day festival?
Yep. On Sunday, Dave Matthews Band will be joined by Vampire Weekend, Sublime, Public Enemy, Tom Morello, and the Spin Doctors. Really cool lineup. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. Oh, and Marissa just handed this note. Snack Time from Philly will be playing day 3 there.
And Mo Lauda and The Humble, featuring former Preston and Steve intern.
Yeah.
The Humble.
Nice. The Humble.
The name of our intern.
That's excellent.
Who was it, Casey?
Jordan,
That's
and his last name is like
Humble?
Cows. Yeah, it's an Italian last name with a ton of vowels.
It's funny. We only at the end of his internship did we find out he had a band that was doing pretty well.
Yeah. At the very end, like the last week or so. Yeah. All right, and then let's see. I just have one other story. I'm sorry. It's going to be a very short music news today. U2 released only one song in 2023, the single Atomic City, which was their first new single and new music in a long time. And according to The Edge, the band may be about to change that. He said that they have been working on new material for a new solo project. The Edge said that it turned out that the entire band decided to work on some of the songs together.
We've written 25 million songs. It's going to be a lot.
So what does that mean for fans? It means he said there might be a new song happening very soon, which you will hear about. Can't say any more than that. And he did say that the band is hoping to do some live shows again in the near future.
We were talking about the model of now that seems to be the accepted model with a lot of bands is little clusters of songs that are released and the full album, like I mentioned purchasing the new Cure album, which has a number of songs on it. But it seems more they come out in little,
Yeah, it's more
spurts.
the norm than it is anything else these days. And actually, the anomaly is like when the Cure comes out with a full album. And they apparently are going to get right back to it, and they have enough songs where they can knock another one out, which is pretty damn cool. So it was quick music news. Didn't have much.
It was good, though. It was good.
That was really good.
We will take a break. We'll come back. We'll be wrapping up, and we'll get our letter today for the Word of the Week prize. Also, Tat Tuesday. If you haven't texted in for that yet, do it now. You have just a few minutes left. Text word tattoo to 39333. We'll come back in a moment, wrap up the program.
Well, too late.
The flavor lasts like
The
10
flavor's
seconds.
pretty much gone.
Right,
yeah. When a trade publication detailed the family's process in the early 1970s, it opened the floodgates for other companies to begin making the distinctive treat. Sunkist was an early player, but when General Mills put their considerable advertising power behind their fruit roll-ups, they became synonymous with the snack.
What's your favorite fruit roll-up flavor?
I always just went for the strawberry, which was kind of the first one that came out.
To me, it
That's
sort of
what I always
tasted like
liked.
a Twizzler a little bit.
I tried like the healthier version of the fruit roll up, and Jace was like, "I don't like these. Can we get those?" And it was,
you
the
don't like
traditional.
mommy's kale roll-ups?
It was like a little
They're
more.
actually not that bad.
Are they?
Healthier version.
Are they? I've never had them.
But when you have the original, which is delicious, he knows the difference now.
Yeah.
Joray is still in business, offering kosher roll-ups that rely more heavily on fruit than the more processed commercial versions.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Joray is Superman's father, right?
No, that's Jor-El.
Oh.
But I thought you were going to say Geordi, and he's on Star Trek Next Generation. But the companies have one more important thing in common. They both have the sense not to refer their product as fruit leather anymore.
Yeah, fruit leather would not be as tasty.
But I was not aware of the history.
I always thought it was like a sort of chemical thing that they put together in the 80s, and here it's sort of fruit. Parents will be down with this.
Yep.
You've opened up my eyes, historian.
Thank you. Please welcome Mr. Brian Posehn.
Yeah.
To the show.
You were on Big Bang Theory last night, and your character on the show is hilarious. You're a geologist, and
a rock nerd.
A rock nerd, and and I was talking to you off air about that show. And originally when it came on, I was like, I don't know, and then it became clear that there is a strong geek base in the writers' room
for
there,
sure,
because
yeah.
they were getting it all right, and that's what brought me into it.
Yeah, no, there's giant nerds in that writing room. for
Right.
sure, yeah, there's guys from Futurama and places like that, and they're really smart and very geeky.
Very geeky, and they actually
the cast isn't.
Really? So nobody on the show?
No,
with
because
all
I've
of
been
that-
there a lot, and like the first couple of times we'd be hanging out, and like there was a comic book store actually on the set.
Yeah.
And I'm, looking at everything in there, and I was asking a couple of the guys, I was like, "Do you like this stuff?" And they're like, "No, we go to Comic-Con once a year, and that's it." I'm like, "Oh my God!"
They pull it off though. Who's ever writing again, you say the writers are geeks, so that makes a difference, but. On that comic book set, and much to my wife's chagrin, I will point to things. I have that piece. I have that piece.
Wow.
She's like, "Oh my God, shut up, nerd."
It's really bad. Yes,
There's a certain way you're supposed to read comics, and I don't know what that is. Are you supposed to look at the picture first? You're supposed to read the dialogue first? Can you do either
I
or?
cannot help you.
But
you
I've
can't
heard
even
that.
figure it out.
I've heard that before.
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
it's confusing if you first pick it up, but if you start reading a few titles, about where the panels are and where the word bubbles are.
Oh, right, the way the storytelling.
I always find that my eye goes naturally to where it's supposed to go, especially if you're dealing with good writers and good illustrators.
If you read a few,
the normal flow will take you there.
There's some Deadpools I could recommend.
That you wrote.
How many did you write?
45.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your stuff is exceptionally good. I have to tell you, I love what you do with the character, and I know we talked about the first movie, and you were happy with the outcome.
I mean, I keep thinking at some point they're going to use one of our characters, and if they do,
who would you want them to use?
Well, the woman we had in Mary Shiklo, which was, I would think would be a cool wife. It's so nerdy. But
No, it
she's
isn't.
the queen of the vampires. And, I just think it would be a good juxtaposition for the character.
It would be very cool, but you know what? And here's the most telling thing is the case can no longer be made that this is just peripheral stuff. This right now, and I mentioned Thor Ragnarok before he came on. This is what is fueling Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of other big movies. All the big movies are geeky movies.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, the best ones and the most successful ones are the ones that are deeper and have more meaning and that are characters that are well written. And,
Right.
And I was talking with Nick Murphy, who's he's a fellow nerd too. But these universes that exist beyond the movie, the characters that exist beyond the movie, they make the entire movie more compelling.
Right. And then, like, for me, as I was watching Thor, and they got it so right, part of my head was exploding because I was like, this is something I've always wanted.
Right.
And no one's ever gotten it right, but these guys are getting it right. Like, whoever's involved at Marvel and,
Kevin Feige?
Yeah, but all the guys. Yeah, Feige.
So deal with this, and because we have been through, we're old enough to remember the failed Thor attempt on the Hulk TV series.
Right.
The guy who was basically like a beach bum, with a horrible plastic-looking hammer, and it was just all the failed attempts. Spider-Man basically rappelling down a building.
Right.
This was stuff they could never pull up. Now, not only are they pulling it off right now, they're nailing it to the original imagery that we loved to begin with.
Well, yeah, it had that Jack Kirby feel, and we're making this so geeky.
Well, speaking of geeky,
I love when I do a nerd voice when I'm being nerdy, like I need to.
Your nerd poker. This has gotten such a buzz. Please explain to people what goes on here.
Well, it's just Dungeons and Dragons, but I've always looked at D&D as like it's just a geeky form of poker because for me and my friends, it's more about the hang than it is the actual game. And that's what a lot of D&D nerds don't like my podcast because we play D&D, but we also mess around. And
it's light and loose.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of dudes hanging out in a room.
And is it an ongoing story? I'm sorry, because I don't know. So, So when you guys show up every week, it continues from the week prior.
Yeah, and our dungeon master has to remind us because I have a short attention span, and I've smoked some stuff over the years.
Just a bit. Who surprised you? Who's come out of the woodworks as a D&D
Well, we
fan?
had on our show, we had Joe Manganiello on our show, and
that guy's wild.
My wife was like calling all her friends, like, he's in my living room.
He's Sophia Vergara,
come on
Magic
over.
Mike, and True Blood.
Yeah. He's super handsome.
Yeah.
Like me, we're all geeks, and we were all looking at him going, he's dreamy. And then he pulled out his box of figures, and he's more into Dungeons and Dragons than anybody I know, than anybody I've ever played with. Like, and Patton Oswalt used to paint his own figures.
Oh my God!
But Manganiello has like this whole, and they're alphabetized and it's super like OCD.
Did you start making fun of him?
I felt pretty cool. I'm like, look at this geek. I'm kind of the badass in the room.
That's great.
What a nerd.
I don't understand it, and I've tried to play, and I've gotten really pissed off.
I think I'm too stupid. My attention span is
I'm
too
borderline.
Short.
I'm like, I feel like I'm in that room. I'm the dumbest guy in that room. And with my son's 8 years old, and he's not into D&D yet, but he's getting into all the other stuff, Star Wars and comic books, and he's already schooling me. Like, we're talking about Star Wars, and this is something I've liked for 40 years. And he knows more about it already than I do.
Well, he enters into it though with the full catalog ready to go.
Right.
We had to get it through attrition and incrementally.
Right.
And that's
his hard drive hasn't been affected by anything yet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
his memory.
He's fully
his memory's
wired.
better.
Yeah, but it's part of the deal. The games are like you see them in the back of the comic book stores and they're playing. I'm like, man, it looks like it's so cool and you can get lost in it, but I can't. I would find myself playing with the figures too much, like the little, that's me. Like I remember the game Mousetrap as a kid. I never played the game. I just played with the Mousetrap.
Nice.
So it's all part of the deal.
Too dumb for Mousetrap.
I was too dumb for Mousetrap. So that shows you why I can't succeed at this. What are the games? What are the things are you into on that level? The D&D? Are you Magic the Gathering as well, or are they
song from 311 that is called Amber? 1021 with Preston Steve Show, 93.3 WMMR, Tuesday morning. Our broadcast coming to a close here shortly. Weather-wise today, we have sun and clouds. Actually looks really nice out. But you can see as you look out to any foliage, we got some breeze. If you're stepping outside, definitely feeling cooler than the high of 33 degrees with the wind chill. And that is our zone that we are in for the next few days. Today, tomorrow, Thursday for sure. Friday, some clouds coming in, and then Saturday, maybe even bringing some snow showers. To what extent, I haven't really heard as of yet. And they haven't really been saying lots, so I don't know. You never know.
They'll have it on Saturday, then on Monday.
Yeah, true. Absolutely.
Come on, man.
I would like to thank our guest on the program today. We had a fantastic conversation with actor Richard Kind.
Yeah.
He is so wonderful, and man, does he have stories. And a wonderful red sweater that he wears.
Oh, my God,
apparently his lucky
everywhere.
sweater.
But he is, so he's got a couple things going on. He's got his his engagement at Parks Casino on the 24th. And it's basically him sitting down, being interviewed, telling stories, great anecdotes, Q&A. He's actually going to act out a scene or two on stage.
Yes.
And he's gonna give you an idea. So he's been a character actor for his he's been a stage actor and a character actor for all these years, and he's essentially going to say, this is the kind of career that I've had, and if you're interested in acting, these are maybe some of the things you can expect, and also telling some really great, fun, interesting, cool stories.
I mean, one of his besties is George Clooney. I mean, he works in that sphere. You know, he told us he made out with Julia Roberts. So that's suspect. But
that was such a great story.
Yeah, but it's a great story, and he's as I say, they used to call people like that raconteurs. They were just tons of great stories at the drop of a hat.
So Parks Casino coming up on the 24th, and right now he's starring in All In on Broadway, which is this who's who of comedic actors. And,
yes.
Yeah, he's wonderful. So it was great having him on today. Today is Tuesday, and we need to give away our Tuesday prize. We would like to congratulate Mr. Brian Feeney. Who is from Glen Olden, and he was telling Marissa that he has been trying to get a Preston and Steve Show tattoo for years
Really?
and years and
Nice.
years,
Wow.
and he finally got it. So
that's so cool.
We're excited for him. And if you're interested in getting some fantastic ink, then you need to check out Floating World Tattoos and Piercing. They are at 1729 South Street in Philadelphia. If you want samples, you can go to floatingworldtattoos.com, or you can check them out on Instagram at Floating World Tattoos, by the way. We're stopping a little earlier than we normally do today, so I assume Pierre is not really here yet.
I got it.
Letter of the day. Casey's going to get it. Here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter. And the Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter
H as in hilarious.
All right, and we have 3 more to go. Friday, we will be giving away our Word of the Week prize, and we have a pair of pit tickets for the MMR.
So pitted.
Yep, Saturday, May 10th at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Allison Chains, 3 Days Grace, Mammoth, WVH, Dorothy, Dead Poets Society, Octane, Return to Dust, MMR's local shots artist, Fat Mez, and also our side stage, Preston and Steve Show side stage, live band karaoke, Sidearm's going to be our band, DJ, Jackie Bam Bam, and all that. Tickets are available now. You can get lawn seats for $25 while they last, so keep that in mind. I will thank our sponsors, as we do every day. Thank you so much to the following people. The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you by Duncan, and the Preston and Steve Show runs on Duncan.
Excuse me.
Coffee, Coffin Steam.
Why don't you hit your call button?
Also brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors. And speaking of Kathy, don't forget, if we hit 100,000 followers on Instagram by Friday, she will show off her feet to all you foot lovers. So that's dangling out
There's
there.
got to
right
be,
now.
fetish-wise, there's got to be a ton of foot fetishists out there that would dig that.
So follow us on Instagram, footies. And tomorrow on our program, Wednesday, Fox Good Day, Secret Text Word. We'll also have Scott Wolf in studio.
From Party of Five?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's right. So he will be here, and we'll see what else we can do to make your day go quicker and make it so much brighter.
So much brighter.
All right, that's it. We are done. Rage on. Have yourself a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.